All right. And we should be live with day three, I think.
Are
My
we
ch-
live? I need to swap back.
I think so.
Oh, yep, MC loaded.
My chat isn't working, which is already a good start of the day. Man,
Don't worry, I think we are live.
there's always one bug, eh? I've I've got the image of the emoticon me rolling out of bed this morning, 7 a.m. to watch
I
athletics.
mean, can't cover the Grand Slam track logo. Come on.
Disrespect.
I hope everyone's doing all right. Finally, it's actually a good time in the UK. 8:30 prime time. Always covering the entire logo.
Yeah, dude. No, it's a good time. It's a good time for everyone right now, except for obviously anyone in Oceania. Like at
Except
US,
for
it's pretty
you.
prime time. Yeah, UK, it's prime time.
Oceania, you just need to get up early. Just ice water in the morning. You should be all good.
Ashton Hall. Get my conference call in before.
You're gonna have
Spend
to do at least 10,000, bro.
spend 4 minutes in the air diving into my pool. All right.
12:30 in California, apparently.
Ooh. All right. I need to
Let's
fix
see.
my chat. Otherwise, I can't see what's going on.
When's the 800 meters? I believe. Let me double check our little race schedule here. 800 meters is in the middle of the event. I'm gonna see if I can get an exact time up.
I'm doing a bit of troubleshooting right now, so just give me a second. All
Good.
right, sweet. Chat's up. Hello, chat. Welcome to Kingston, day three. If you're tuning into the replay, I'll have everything timestamped down below, like the last couple. I know some people have been watching the replay, which is cool. That's usually what
Yeah,
I
I'm
do.
glad
If
about
I
that.
Yeah, I usually don't wake up at 7 a.m. for a meet myself. Dirty little secret of mine. I'll wake up a couple hours later and then watch the replay and then pretend like it's live.
800 meters, I believe, is at 9:40 British Standard Time. So that's in about an hour.
Someone said, excited to see the hurdlers running the open 100 and 400 against each other. Dude, I am a big fan of it too. People disapproving at the start, but I think these races are cool, and it's been proving like seeing a lot of these top athletes in different races. It's been we've been able to see like some real talents come through. I mean, Helt's winning the 800. Gabby, kind of like kind of destroying in the 400. I didn't expect a .5 PB, especially this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've eaten my words a little bit when it comes to the format being because I was criticizing saying, do we really care about seeing people in their non-specialist event? And at least for this first slam, it's been super interesting. I mean, I wonder how it would translate now that we know roughly what the races are like in each slam for their non-specialist event. But the challenges will still keep it fresh. But
Yeah, no, that's
you know,
John. I, I
might
reckon
make a attraction.
I reckon even after the first one too, like there'll be a lot of bigger names looking to be challengers next time round. Oh,
Oh,
and
you
also,
reckon? Because they got some really big names for the challenges this slam.
I just mean like a sneaky Noah Lyles might come on, and you might see a Julian Alfred. I think a lot of the top sprinters were the ones who kind of said no. Like the middle distance groups and the long distance groups are kind of stacked.
They were game. I mean, the so I don't see Jakob honestly doing a Grand Slam track meet, and I mean because of ego, I don't see Lars doing it either. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but because of the back and forth he's had with Michael Johnson, it seems just like a point of principle where he's gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do it. You know?
I don't know. I think money talks. He's still playing League of Legends on a laptop when he travels. He could upgrade to a PC. Well,
Who is that? Sorry,
no, no lies. He travels around with a laptop to play League of Legends.
that's quality.
That is,
Gotta love it.
oh man, athletes they know what the grind is about, and the grind never stops.
Yeah, grinding even in League of Legends.
I'd always been really interested actually. I wanted to ask his rank. That's a little bit off topic, but I tried to go onto a Q&A stream of his, and I was literally spamming. What's your league rank? What's your league rank? All right, I'll
All
be
right,
honest.
first event.
Pauline Gale has said, please call out the lane assignment. So we're coming into the women's short hurdles, but they're running the 100 meters. Do we even have anything that tells us the lane assignments?
Apart from, I don't think so, to be honest. It might be a bit difficult. If we can, we will. But you know, 4 cameras. You know, there's a lot to be looking at.
Oh yeah, haven't even like brought this up. We're back on the 4 cameras again.
Yeah, it seems didn't change it.
Yeah,
It's okay.
no.
You know, I was content with 4 cameras. You know, like it's better than what we had last time.
Oh, absolutely. Better than.
Are you lagging by the way, or is it just me?
Oh, does my voice sound laggy or is the stream?
A little bit of both.
Oh,
It might just be me. We'll see.
I assume there'll be some lag here and there. That's the nature of streaming from New Zealand. All right, let's. You know what?
All right.
Let's talk about the race.
So, got a few minutes.
Yep, let's talk about the race. Let's talk about the race.
Women's short hurdles category.
Okay.
So this is the 100 meters. Yes.
Yep. So they're running the 100 meters. They ran the 110 hurdles yesterday. Oddly enough, Tia Jones is a late entry, and she actually kind of pulled away from the field. You know, but I think when we're talking about the 100 meters, you know, there are certain athletes that pull back from a bad start and finish really strong. Like you got Camacho Quinn always finishes strong. Akira Nugent has a strong finish too. She also has an incredible 100-meter time. She's run. Where is she down here? She's run 11:09.
11:09.
Yeah, 11:09 is a PB, and that's the best PB in the field. She also talked very, very, very confidently. Tia Jones is the leader point-wise because she won yesterday. And there's also Masai Russell, who came fifth yesterday, so her points aren't doing very well. But she's also a fantastic 100 sprinter. She ran 11:1
I don't know about
this season.
Russell.
She finishes strong. I don't.
So the only thing,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't want to counter out, of course, but the way she was talking post interview is, you know, she was kind of like, she was in the early season meet sort of mindset of, you know, I don't think she was investing a huge amount into this. Again, this is kind of armchair analysis here, but I didn't get the impression that it was like this is a really big meet for her.
I mean, to be fair, if she said it, then there's no better analysis than straight from the horse's mouth, right?
Oh, you know, we can argue about how much that would affect her performance, though. I believe she said, like, I was checking out a few interviews recently as well. Obviously, of course, post 1500 meter as well. A lot to say about that, but I'll hold my tongue until the 8.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know, we need to set up a poll. So we'll get Jones in there since she's the leader from yesterday. We'll put in Nugent because she's got the fastest 100-meter time. I'll put in
You should put
Williams.
Russell in just because of her name.
Oh, that's tough because, like, do I just ignore Williams, who came second yesterday? You know, she's actually come in with some form.
Okay. I mean, we've got 4 options there.
I think Russell coming fifth. I don't think they necessarily need her as an option, and I think Camacho Quinn is a valuable name to have in there, especially in a 100 flat.
Calling all our races today. Upstairs, Steve Cram, Kerry Tellison, and Anson Henry.
Right. Who are we going with?
All right, I'll let the chat decide first. You know, we're we're down bad, but we'll give it to
Bro,
them.
we're point behind, man. We gotta lock in.
I think where the votes are going, it was either going to be Nugent or Camacho Quinn. I think if Russell was in form, she would have been a good pick. But yeah, I mean, maybe even she's talking about struggling then.
Nugent seems to be a heavy favorite.
All right, you know, we talked
Yeah,
about
Nugent's a
PGs.
fairly heavy favorite.
Right, there are the lane assignments on screen, by the way, so we will get that right before. You know, I think based off the picks, you got Nugent in 4, Camacho Quinn in 5. You know, you keep your eyes on the center of the track. Russell's in 6 too, actually. But you know, based off of form, it
Yeah,
could be
big names,
Jones
isn't
in lane 2, sneaking out. So, oh man, I'm excited for this. I've always wanted to watch the hurdlers run the 100 flat.
See, it would appear the poll is at, yeah, I think Nugent's going to win the poll. So Camacho Quinn, is that going to be our pick?
Yeah, we'll definitely go Camacho Quinn. I mean, again, yesterday, she's a taller figure. She finished strong. And, you know, when they finish strong, that's the closest to top-end speed they'll ever get in a 100 hurdle race.
Yeah.
Nah, it's nice. We
Alright.
can keep an eye on,
Yeah.
on chats picking our pick just like dead ass in the middle of the lanes. This is gonna be real nice.
See, where's Tia Jones? Yeah, Tia Jones right on the outside, or in lane 2 even, inside.
Yeah. I've never really picked Tia for a 100-meter sprinter. In fact, oh yeah, that's right. I was looking at her PB before this, and it's still in the. It's like a 12:29 maybe, which is a second slower than everyone else. To be fair, from 2013.
Yeah, you know.
So she was. But she's
I'm sure she can run faster, but, you know, it is indicative of her experience.
yeah, pretty youth athlete at then. 2013, I think she would have been. That is a proper youth athlete. Wait, that's. Is that 12 years old she ran that? Is that true?
No way.
Wait, no. I don't
That's hella impressive if she's 12.
don't take my word on any of that. Don't take my word on any of that. Yeah, okay. Nope. 12:11 from 2013.
Right.
Right, I'll turn up for the
Fair play.
race. That's
Alright.
at 12, 13 years old, bro. She was running 12:11. Oh my god.
The only reason I mentioned Tia Jones is because she is leading, obviously, with 12 points. So even if she doesn't win this race, she's got a solid chance of winning the entire thing.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. Who's gonna walk away with 100k? I'm more excited for the race, to be fair, but
Money talks.
Dirk Marta Quinn Wall. Oh wow, Nugent.
Yeah, a little bit though.
Damn, bro, Williams slighted. Ending the poll here, 8% for Williams, and she ran away with it. She pulled out, man.
In second place, but that's not going to be enough.
Was it 11:54 too? Those are some good times.
Brilliantly yesterday to take second place.
So I wonder what the overall score is.
Got out well.
So yeah, they should flash up the graphic for us.
I'm glad we're getting times today, as well, down on the bottom left, just straight after the race. Nugent in second. Williams home crowd. Bro, I feel bad. I didn't talk about it earlier in the actual hurdles race yesterday. Kind of slided her today, even though she came second. She should have been on the radar, man.
Do we know what the wind is at all?
No, not quite yet. And you know what that means? Williams walks away with it all.
Second and first, yeah.
Yeah, Jamaican pride in the chat. Let's go.
Trying to see what the crowd is saying as well at this point. Because it's a few hours earlier, and I suppose it is on a Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you might expect peak seating capacity yesterday, or attendance rather.
I'll be honest, I really only started like following, the hurdles really only got on my radar kind of last year. It was a little bit the year before, because of just how close it was, and the girls running, like the world lead was switching up, and you could never tell who was going to win. But Williams last year didn't have a fantastic season, so she wasn't on my radar massively. But she is the 2023 defending world champ. So now you've just got another woman. You just got you've got 15 girls who could win. Now you got 16, 17. I mean, at least in my mind, it's just an ever growing list. It's a bit comical.
Yeah, part one though, isn't it?
Did they mention the wind anywhere?
Right.
You were trying
Men's
to talk
long
about it
hurdles
earlier, right?
category. Yeah, I don't think they mentioned it on the stream from what I saw. But people were saying it looked windy. I don't know if there was kind of look at one of the top right CCTV footage, see how much wind there is.
No, you can see wind on some of the tarps out there. It definitely looks a little bit like a headwind. But you see ping pong edits. Adam, just talk about the 15800. That's more important.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree, but we've got to give the lesser important sports, their fair dues. At least give the impression of partiality.
I'll tell you what, if there was
Everyone
high
knows
jump
what
at
I'm
this
really
minute,
here for.
if there was high jump here, I wouldn't be talking about anything else. The stream wouldn't be happening. It'd just be field events for me.
Yeah, unfortunately, no one likes your event, so they don't show it.
Yo, kind of true.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Usain Bolt and Noah Lyles Olympian here. You know, maybe they're taking a day off today.
Do they say they've got the results up on screen? Yeah, no wind. Yeah, Daniel. So Daniel Williams, Tia Jones walking away with the second largest prize, considering she was a late fill-in for someone who pulled out.
Damn, I mean, because that means despite getting only 3 points in the last one, she still came second.
Oh, did she actually have a bad race in the back there? I was focused a bit on the front.
Yeah. She was like, I think she came second last or third last. Something. It was very bad. It was quite a bad race for her.
Oh wow, it is nice how
There were two people who were heavily like.
Yeah. It is nice how heavily weighted first place is. Like there's really value on winning the race.
I mean, that is kind of. I think the Diamond League is where you go if you really want to see those super fast times because of the whole wavelights thing. But I think it's really good the Grand Slam have taken this. Times aren't important. Competition is the most important thing. Sort of mentality.
All right, we got Dos Santos walking in, top right.
Men's 400.
Man, between us and chat, our scores haven't moved for a little while, bro. We've been pretty dry on the picks, especially us. I think since the first two races yesterday, we haven't gotten a pick right. Did you notice that?
Hey, well, we're fine. We'll be okay. I wasn't paying too much attention. I'll be honest. I wasn't focusing on our failures. I focused on our successes.
Yesterday, you mentioned the moment when we hit 4 points. You're like, "Oh man, we're on a roll, chat. You're so bad. Hey, this is where we won't get another one right." And that's exactly what happened.
Well, at least I can predict some things right, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. That deserves a point in itself, And I do control the system.
I reckon so.
All right.
Me and Jumpman get an extra 2 points. Who says no?
All right, we got the men's lining up for the 400. These are the 400 hurdlers running the 400 flat. Something I've been super, super interested in seeing. You got in this field.
I mean, Dos Santos is obviously the big name.
Yeah, I mean Dos Santos won yesterday, and it was pretty convincing.
This is what I'm saying. He won yesterday, fastest PB.
Yeah, fast.
I think Dos Santos is the guy to go with, to be honest. Unless he just happens to be horrendous at the 400, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
No, he's after yesterday proved himself the pretty big favorite. I mean, yeah, you said fastest PB. He ran the fastest yesterday. Funnily enough, the second fastest guy in this field in the 400 would be Rashawn Clark, and he came second yesterday. And then
he's in good form as well because he ran that Velocity Fest, which is a couple of weeks ago, I believe, in the Kingston Stadium as well.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna be a bit dog here. I'm gonna be honest. You guys aren't getting Dos Santos. You guys got him yesterday.
Yeah.
Me and Adam need the point. We're gonna bring it. We need to bring it back. So I'll give you. You get Clark. You get Caleb Dean, who honestly flat speed is fantastic. He's a fantastic 60-meter runner.
Nah, realistically, Dos Santos is just gonna fall, or he's gonna be absolutely horrendous. Just because we've every single time we've just given ourselves the favorite pick, they've done terribly. Mora did pad. Hawker didn't do. I mean, obviously he came third, which is still decent, but he didn't do amazing.
People talking time predictions for the winner. That's actually a really interesting prospect. I think. Yesterday Dos Santos 47. That's a second and a bit behind what he's capable of. I could see at least the top two getting 45s, especially because Clark's already run a 44 this year. You couldn't predict a 45, surely. Is Ducos not out there? Yesterday he jogged. He jogged his race.
Yeah, I think.
And he didn't look good. So.
Yeah, I think it was a case of let me just do one race. He probably went into it injured, and he was just like, "Look, I want to get that 10K, so let me just run a race, and then not sign up for the next one."
With a lot of pullouts, you'd feel bad. Like if you were kind of 80-90%, you're kind of weighing in I might be able to run. you wouldn't want to pull out after seeing like 8 guys pull out on the day, and this is contractual and whatnot.
See Mora as well. Mary Mora not turning up for the 1500 meters. You gotta respect it. Go in as the favorite for the 800 with Vegas odds as well, and then absolutely bomb the 800. Don't start on the 15 and collect 10k. Refuse to elaborate.
Again, Mary Mora staying as our favorite runner, no matter what she does. Everything she does is just
Exactly.
Sigma. That's it.
It was quite funny because so Citius Maglot, they were doing like sort of pre-race predictions and sort of previews of the different categories, and they were saying bet the house on Mary Mora because the Vegas odds were like they had her as a favorite, but it was just a very slight favorite. I think it was -115, so that's like on paper really good odds for her.
Yeah, hey, Matt, can Sidious Mag be held liable for that? If like someone was like, "Oh my God, they said it. I respect their opinion," and they bet the house and then they've lost it. Can they?
I mean, it was kind of just. I think they did cover their tracks to a certain extent. They were like, "Oh, don't take this as financial advice, but haha, I bet the house on Mora." Like,
oh, looking at the chat picks, Clark is obviously top pick. I mean, it's pretty hard. He's already run sub 45. And you got Alan in second. Came 5th yesterday over the hurdles.
nah, to be fair, Clark is still a pretty massive favorite. Very tight second. I mean, James Kin now making a comeback.
I mean, besides Dos Santos kind of leaving them in the dust, all of them ran pretty close. Yeah, Quincy Q Wilson saying they'll go 44. Actually, now that I think about it, they did run hard yesterday. And when you run a really hard race and you're running for big money, you do come back the next day a little bit more fatigue. So
Think about the wind as well.
yeah, but it's a 400 track. The 400 runners, they're built to like the wind doesn't affect them. It's gonna push them forward. It's gonna hold them back.
I don't know. I think the net still, and sometimes as well you do find that the wind just hits you in one spot, because of the way it's funneled in, but it doesn't actually give you any tailwind.
No advantage. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen.
It happened. I mean, on my Saturday session, yesterday, that like there was a disgusting crosswind on the back straight. Nothing on the home straight. Didn't feel a single thing.
That's what type of stadium were you running in though? Was it enclosed?
No, it was fairly open, but like, I mean, still.
There you go. If you're in an open
sense.
stadium, bro, you're truly open to the elements. But in a stadium, it's generally a swirling wind if there is wind in there. Just from experience, I'm the big stadium guy.
Sorry, man. I'm not on that level.
Yeah, but I've never run in a stadium. Come on, we don't even have a stadium.
Should
here.
get a
We'll go back to your 400 meter prowess after this round.
biggest stadiums a random Sunday league
Here we
football
go.
pitch.
Yeah.
Couple deck chairs out.
Got the garden chairs here. Yeah. Turn this down a little. Yeah, no, Clark. Damn, Clark is moving on to Santos. He's really looking at that's a big advantage for him, knowing he's run a sub 45 and he can ride his shoulder like that. While DeSantis is kind of running
Recently as well.
Yeah, kind of running blind.
Oh, so who's coming on the inside there?
I think it's Robinson in the black.
Yeah.
Damn,
He's really looking good. Is
I
he
did
gonna
not
crash though
expect
in
these
that last
guys to
100?
be pushing the 400 pace so hard.
Oh, he's looking dominant. Is Santos coming back though?
Dos Santos
Come on,
is
chase
making
him
moves,
down,
Clark's
chase him
on
down.
move. That's
Make
Dean
the
on
move.
the
Oh
outside
yeah,
as well.
he's gassing out, rocking and rolling. Go on, DeSantos, go on. Oh yes, oh yes. Never in doubt. 45-53.
Never in doubt, bro. I had my spaghetti was pouring out my pockets, bro. I was giving it up.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt. That is one thing you love about the 400. It's not over until it's over, Because you
Yeah, that's
see,
true.
going into the last 100 meters, the lead he had, Robinson, that was. But he came second, He did a very good race. Clark coming fourth in the end.
I'll be honest, I didn't expect Robinson to run so fast. I know Dean has something like that in his legs based off the stuff he's put out in the NCAA. I mean, to be fair, Robinson also from the NCAA and was the 2023 champion in the 4 hurdles. But yeah, he comes out, runs a 49 yesterday. Did not expect a 45 in the flat.
I'm not seeing anyone who got it exactly. Was it 45-35 or was it 45-53?
I think it was
It's 53, wasn't it?
45-54 maybe?
I think it was a 3, but I'm trying to see if anyone got it exactly right. Sarika saying that they got 45.5.
All right, we needed that. Give me on the points. That also means Dos Santos walking away with 2 wins now. That's
24
money in
points,
the bag.
Yeah, question is though, obviously, does he beat Bednarek in terms of the median times? Because to be honest, Bednarek had like 2 fairly comfortable victories. I mean, it wasn't because Dos Santos was really rocking and rolling for that last 100 there. You had to work for it.
Yeah. Actually looking at the points, so Dos Santos obviously won clear out, 24 points, but Rashawn Clark he came third that race. I didn't quite.
Came 4th.
He came 4th. Oh, so Dean beat him.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dean and Clark have tied for second on points. So that'd be interesting to learn how they differentiate that.
It's all about median times, basically who ran faster overall.
Okay. All right, well, that won't be math for us.
So that is where
certainly not working that one out.
What's the median time of the race minus the racer's time? Something like that.
Oh, Clark 13, Dean 12, Robinson 11. Thank you, Cameron Brady. What a saver,
Double
mate.
bonus. You've seen they changed the profile picture for Grand Slam Track's Instagram to Michael Johnson's face being like in shock from one of the races.
Oh,
I think
really?
it was Gabby's 400. Yeah, it looks so weird.
I want to see it.
It's kind of funny they did it. I hope they don't keep it, to be honest, because it doesn't look very professional. But it is quite funny.
Yeah, but isn't it like, what sport's trying to be professional these days? You look at like, the NFL and whatnot. Like, I feel like the NFL is the biggest meme league of all time, and it's like, isn't that the highest grossing league currently? Or like any sports league?
Surely the Premier League's doing better. I don't know what.
I only work in American, that's the only country that matters.
Oh, say can you see? Oh, right, no, it was Michael Johnson's reaction to Sadwell running 48.67, I think it was, to her 400.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What about Gabby if Gabby's in second? Damn that, bro. What do you mean? That's a goated profile picture. Michael Johnson cares. He's a president that cares.
People's president. Waiting 1500 men's. I hope you mean just the short distance categories of 1500 with yesterday. Do you have the 800 on later tonight, though?
Alex Yates, Jumpman, I'm so drunk. I love you. I've been getting a lot of I love yous in the chat. Not this chat, in my comments in general. And I find that probably the funniest thing ever because all I do is scream over track and field. Can't be mad.
All right, women's long distance. So, of course, as a preview, in the last one we saw the East Africans taking out real fast. No messing about. Be interesting to see whether they have the legs for that today, because I believe, is this the 3,000 or the 5,000? Sorry.
I've updated the stream if you take a look at them.
Magic, yeah. We love to see it.
That's the new Grand Slam Track logo. What do you think?
Perfect.
Professional or unprofessional? I don't know.
It's funny. I don't think it's professional, but it is funny. Like I'm not trying to be a killjoy here.
No, I love it.
You should put a caption of like the reaction to the 4 different camera angles or something. That could be a memeable template right there.
Hey chat, make Michael Johnson go viral. Do your thing.
You, sir, have won the internet.
Oh, Christ, bro. When we're quoting stuff like that, say no, we're on this shit too much.
Chronically online.
I mean, that's the life of a person who makes YouTube videos.
So, I'm not gonna try and give a strong prediction for the women's 5K because with the longer distances, there's so much up in the air, and like kind of got no clue whether it's going to be a tactical race or whether it's going to be a quick one because we saw the last one was quick, but now that they've got a pretty solid race in their legs, are they going to have the legs to take it out for 5,000 meters as well? So it'll be interesting.
Did one of the chicks just do a handstand?
I was not watching. I was checking our cheat sheet, trying to look at the stats. Maybe.
Bro, aren't they showing their
Right.
athletes?
I'm saying Tanaka sub 45 first lap.
Oh, bro, you reckon she actually front runs here?
Nah. She doesn't. I mean, like, there's no reason for her to front run this. Like, you know what? She might front run if it becomes stupidly slow, but like even then, I don't really see the point in that for her, because in terms of personal best, she's by far the worst of the races. So it would suit her for it to be a volatile sit and kick race where it's kind of anyone's game.
Right. I'm looking at the races right now. Who do you think we put on the poll? And who are you looking at picking, actually? Like, genuinely.
Let me check the results for what happened last time. Let's see, it's the women's long distance. Yeah, so Ty was looking strong, to be fair, in that race.
Yeah.
Ty might just do the exact same thing as before, because when you look at her races in the Olympics, the World Champs, she doesn't front run very much. She kind of sits in the sort of near the front of the pack, not right on the shoulder of the front runner, but kind of third or fourth, fifth. So I think her track experience as well would give her some kind of... Yeah, because I don't know, Ingetic did take a very sort of road running approach to it, in that she sort of just bombed it from the beginning and tried to outwork everyone. And it seems that she didn't have the legs to do that. I'm leaning towards Ty personally, but like there's so many things so many factors with a long distance race. Yeah, I'm not making that a confident prediction, but I'm gonna say Ty to take the 24 points.
Yeah, so chat's going for Ingetic, but you did basically what you said, or Ty did exactly what you said. Ty read her shoulder on Ingetic's shoulder, and then at the end, just like had a stronger kick. In fact, we had a hard time watching the race because that was one of the first races, wasn't it? And there was when the camera was still in the stands.
It was, yeah. So we got nice drone footage and everything on the back straight. But from what I remember of the full profile angle, I'm pretty sure Ty did finish quite strong.
Yeah, and she basically ran how you just described it. So,
although I mean, the question is though, if it does become a super tactical race, because I picked I think it was Whitney Morgan for the previous one, because I was betting on it being tactical, and Morgan's got a solid 3K PB and a good kick. So you never know. Like, this is what I mean. There's so many factors involved here. Let's see what the pace is saying.
Someone asked, what do you think of Grand Slam Track? I feel the idea is cool, execution. I mean, when anything first starts, and it's, this is their inaugural meet, it's going to be a bit rough. They've got a lot of polishing. Yeah, you could use some polishing, is what you said. I do think it's a good thing. I think the money is going to offer, youth athletes a way into a pathway into the sports, You're a kid or an aspiring athlete, you see you can be earning 100K in these bigger meets. More people are going to stick into the sport. And I think that's a good thing. I think long term, they should definitely stick around and just boost the sport. I actually really enjoy it. And I like seeing the offbeat races, people having to run different things. I've always thought of like what the hurdlers could run over 100 meters and whatnot. It's a lovely little project. That was my little spiel.
Seems that the race was initially started off very slow, but East Africans are doing their thing. They ain't taking any of this bullshit.
Yeah, no, they're already pulling this field apart.
Well, it's a question. I think everyone's deciding whether they want to go with it, and whether this is a real move or not. But I think it is a real move. So let's see, Gebra Salama right at the front from what I can see. Yep. Taya right in the back. So Taya's not taking this move very seriously, unless it's
No, they're already pulling them back a little. They made a little move. The pack's already caught up.
won't take it seriously. This is what I mean as a move. It's like, trying to see if they're serious about it or not. But no, still pulling away.
There's some interesting tactics. You see the speed up, slow down, the speed up, slow down. Does that take much out of you in an actual race?
I think it varies athlete to athlete. I mean, it does. It does for every athlete, but some people will respond differently to it. I mean, like as a rough guideline, I'd say the strength athletes who are, like good in sort of 5, 10K distances, half marathon, they will want a more even pace. Whereas the athletes who are, good in a kick, they can change their legs, their speed very fast, will be more suitable to a kind of stop-start yo-yoing race.
Okay, so you still think it's down to unique racer's ability. That's really interesting. I thought it would affect people generally,
It varies,
generally
yeah.
the same. Oh, that's really cool.
I mean, like that's kind of, it's sort of a general thing. I don't know, to be honest, how much of an impact that would have. But like, I imagine someone like an Ingebrigtsen, with the men's 1500, would respond not as well to a kind of stop-start pace, because when it comes to having a quick changeover of pace, he's not as good as say a Cole Hocker.
Yeah, no, you're right. And whenever he gets caught up in boxing, he does tend to finish a race pretty weak, and he can be beat because of that.
See, Getich, yeah, really pulling it forward. I mean, runners have got to respond now. This isn't, this is a serious move. Unless they're betting on Getich to just sort of gas out badly, she has a risk of running away with this whole thing.
And I mean, Tay has she really needs to stick to it if she wants to ensure this win, because then it'll come down to time. And if Getich is pushing the pace, then
Where did Getich come? What was the?
Getich came second. She barely got edged out at the line in the last race.
Right. So this is interesting because the thing with Ty is that she's tracking someone else, which is going to help just pull her along. And Getich is really leaving herself out to be shot. So this is going to be interesting to see. Can she maintain this for another, 7, 8 laps or so?
Do you think Getich has an advantage over a longer race? Is that more her forte?
Yeah. I mean, she is a 5, 10K runner. I mean, I think she's got the 10K road world record. She's got the 10K world record, which is ran on the road. So she's beaten any track run in the 10K, but she ran that on the road, which is insane. And she got her half marathon PB in late October, which I believe is in the Lisbon marathon, unless I'm mixing up. No, that's Gabriel Salama.
Okay, so the 5K is just more up her beat. Like yesterday, funnily enough, it's odd to say, but the 3K might have been too short for her to really do her work.
Yeah. The 5K would be better for her in that sense. But yeah, is Ty a second there? Hard to tell. Chasing her down, because another thing as well is just the mental aspect of this. Because if anyone's ever done a track workout on their own, they know the sort of just mentally grueling nature of going round and round in circles. Like it gets very tough. And I've always wondered a little bit. I was thinking about this today about whether that's why we're seeing a lot of fast 5, 10K times on the road these days. Like part of the reason. Obviously, the shoes are a big factor as well. But just as a mental thing, it's easier to run on the roads, I feel like, mentally than it is for the track.
Yeah, change of scenery. I mean, your views running on the road can be really beautiful sometimes. And that's motivation
Especially,
itself.
Valencia,
Yeah, no, you're right. The road circuit's really got some really lovely spots. Yeah, it is certainly Tay plodding along, trying to follow her.
Yeah, is she closing that gap a little bit? It's hard to tell. I mean, Getich still got a solid lead. I mean, but we do have 10 minutes left of this race.
Someone asked, is it the NCAA where you can run the track in road shoes now? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
I remember
Can't
actually
say
seeing Parker Velby attaching spikes to her running shoes and running I think it was a 10K qualifier and running shoes with spikes on them.
Oh, interesting. Because technically, I mean, I don't know what the exact rules are, but I mean, with World Athletics, they say that your spikes can't have more than 20 millimeters of stack height to them. And obviously the road shoes will have way more than that. So I don't know if that's technically legal by World Athletics.
I don't think it was legal by World Athletics. I think no, it might be just an NCAA thing. I thought it was really funny and cool that Velby had done that.
Ping-pong edit saying the winning time of the women's race is going to be faster than the men's one.
Dude,
That'd be amazing if it was. I'd love that.
Dude, we can only hope. That would be a good push for equality. That'd make
That would
headlines,
be really
bro.
funny though.
Yeah.
14:39 time to beat. Yeah, I think Tai is slightly closing that gap. She's still got time though. The question is by how much as well, because if Tai won the second one, yeah, I mean, with the gap Getich has got, she would probably win on the median time.
Oh,
Because they draw on points right now.
100%. They were bloody neck and neck in
Yeah,
the
0.3 seconds or something.
in the 3K.
Yeah, I think so. 1.86. Try and remember that number in terms of the gap. I think it is slowing down now. But if it is slowing down, then what Tai just keep calm. You know, just let that gap slowly get smaller and smaller, and then try and bet on the kick maybe.
What was the time for the men's
Yeah, the
yesterday?
distance is definitely
Do you actually recall?
14:39.
14:39. Yeah, man, you got that on lock. Once the numbers get too big for me, they're gone. You know, that's why I focus on the sprints.
No, I was just remembering that because that's like a fantasy time for what I might get in my 5K coming up in like 2 weeks. Like I don't think I'm gonna get it, but it's more just one of those things where like, wow, wouldn't it be fucking sick if I ran 14:39.
And that'd be the post, right? Ran faster than the men's at Grand Slam track. Michael Johnson, have me on.
Faster 5K than Grant Fisher. Oh yeah. Okay, look, gap's really close now. Tai is caught up. She can't. The one thing she's got to make sure she doesn't do is overtake Getich and fall into the same trap that Getich seems to have done. You know, just stick to Getich for now. You know, let her ride off the pace. If she starts slowing up, then maybe you can push. Because you've still got 4 laps, I think it is left. Oh no, way more than 4 laps.
Damn, getting the close up here. And Getich does not look in good shape. She really looks like she's fading. I don't know if it's like a fake fade, but
nah, I mean, right? She pulling out there.
Mate, she's trying to give her the lead.
She's trying to bait her. She's trying to bait. I love that. Nah, Taya said, "Fuck you, ain't happening."
Damn, she's really trying to look at her. She's going so wide.
Yeah,
and Tay will
please.
not. Bro, it's the second place rider. That is so rude to not take that, even just a little.
Hey man, the win is the win. That's interesting though, because I suppose now Getich can think, look, I'm tired. You know, if Tay doesn't want to overtake me, then Getich can dictate the pace, and Getich can make it slower and try and recover a little bit.
Oh, that's true. Oh man, mind games and distance run steep.
This is what I mean, man. This is like honestly the funnest part of the distance stuff is the mind games involved. You don't see it as often maybe in the 5K because it does get a bit monotonous, occasionally with just running lap after lap at kind of 67, 68 seconds, like nothing too threatening. But forgot my maths right there. But here, it's very interesting to see.
What do you think of the difference in forms they have? So you see a lot of Kenyans and they have this slightly lean forward form. It almost looks like they're falling onto their feet as they run. While Tay herself is like a little more upright and bouncy as she runs. Is that something you've noticed or looked into?
I mean, now you mention it, I get what you mean. Because I think Chepnyetic has a similar kind of running form. And like also the arms are quite, like the angle is quite strong. They sort of lean forward, as you say, sort of hunched. I think it's exaggerated as well because Getich is tired, but she always does kind of run like that.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of Kenyans, man. I even remember watching. I actually made a video on a runner named John Ngugi, and he was a fantastic cross country runner, and I think he was an Olympic champion in the 1500. And he would run so leaned forward and like so different to everyone else. And everyone would call it smooth running, but it was like this Kenyan kind of like falling on your feet type running.
Timothy Chariot, what his running form's like.
Yes, and Chariot. That's I didn't want to say the name because I didn't want to get it wrong, but yeah, it's Chariot also who runs like that very heavily.
I mean, it worked out well for him, to be fair.
Yeah.
Also, again, running wide. Like I don't know why she's so insistent on this pace. I mean, because she's just making herself run more. So, like, if I'm in Getich right now, I'm like, okay, you don't want to overtake me. Let me slow it down, get my breath, and see if I can maybe, try my luck in a sprint finish. I don't think, Getich seems to be in a bad position here. Just, given the fact she is very tired. And I don't know if I'd bet on her in a sprint, but, that would seem to be the best tactic for her. Just slow it down and see what will happen,
Yeah, I mean, she already lost the sprint the first time yesterday in the 3K, so it'd be interesting
Running
because
side by side now.
they can feign, to each other when they're fading and when they're looking a little clunky. They can feign like they're a little more fatigued than they are to their opponents as a kind of a mental move as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think what would be really cool, hear me out, Grand Slam track, is heartbeat monitors on the runners.
Oh, that would be very fun. That would be very fun to see.
They're
You have a
really
little
cool.
graphic to the side.
Yeah, just a graphic down the bottom of like, probably the leaders' heartbeats. It'd probably be a lot of work because, you'd have to, there's more graphics for the people in the control room to be handling, but
I don't see it being that much. I mean, because the heart rate's easy. Like, that's a very easy technology to put in.
yeah. Oh, but
I
I
swear
mean,
they've
like,
done that for, like, big races recently.
yeah, I mean, I just reckon in like a race like this, where you've got two people up front, it wouldn't be too difficult to implement. But like if you've got a tight race of like, 8 guys switching leads, like what do you just have 8 heartbeats on screen?
I swear. Well, you play it up tactically, though. But, yeah, heart rate would be a really cool thing to see. I agree.
Nah, but it would kind of remove the
Oh,
how dramatic.
you know what
a
would be
race
cool
could
though? To see the heart rates of everyone. Like, if they put the heart rates on before the race starts, that would be quite interesting as well. See who's getting nervous.
Ooh, you could also see elite runners resting heart rate too. Oh no, that'd be all warmed up and their hearts would already be beating by then. You see like 40, 30 BPM. Maybe Jakob Ingebrigtsen doesn't even have a heartbeat. You don't really know.
Yeah. Just a drum. All right. Is that the last 2 laps, I believe?
Yeah, ping pong's
Oh,
still in. It looks like this will be slightly slower than the men's time, and unfortunately, they've fallen off pace.
Slightly. Nah. 40-second lap. Who says no?
So, Ngedic has really just run the outside, like just egging her on to overtake her. But
Yeah, that's it. But I would think though, if Ty is feeling strong, she's gonna make a move about now, and she does. There we go. So Ty is finally taking the lead. Is Ngedic, are the mind games gonna kick in, or what's happening here? Because she was, as you said, really adamant on trying to let Ty overtake her.
Yeah, but she's looking good. I don't think any of them have used everything they've got. They've really let this come down to this
Yeah,
final.
they slow down. I think
final spurt
Ngedic
here.
is looking better.
Oh, and the
Wait,
cut
and now
off.
she's taking the inside. Oh.
That was nearing
Yeah.
on impeding, I reckon.
I
She
think
just
so,
cut her off there, and Ngedic just
Oh.
lost her stride.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean that's now over, but yeah, I wonder. I'd like to see a replay of that because she did try and come on the inside, but how much space was there is the question.
Yeah, it looked like enough, and it looked like she hard cut off. But look at that sprint speed at the end, man. She was not. She was
I
not.
think
split
Saya
this
had it in
race.
the bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dominant win. Very dominant win.
Yeah, 14:54, sub 15. I mean, if we're talking
Damn,
on
only
par with the
15
men's.
seconds behind.
Yeah.
That's annoying. It would have been so funny if the women's time was faster. I would have loved that.
I mean, based off of that, as we know, Tay walked away with that victory. That's 2 victories for her. Yep, she's
24 points, and that was a pretty dominant victory in terms of the sort of Sydney. That's the issue, because it was a close victory in one race, even though this one was a pretty dominant one.
yeah for women's.
Bloody Sydney,
winner of the
man,
year.
making everything boring. I do want to see a replay, yeah. So Track fan is saying, I don't like it. She blocked her because Ngedic was trying to come in on the inside, so it was hard to tell how much of a gap there was. It's this whole, it reminds me of a, but lesser extent, the Josh Kerr Elliot Giles collision. Kerr trying to come in on the inside. Well, whose fault was it?
That was pretty big domination by them. I think, looking at the times, they beat the rest of the field by about 30 to 40 seconds.
Yeah. Damn. Look at the sun as well. I wonder how hot is it in Kingston right now. Let me do a little quick Google search up here.
I'll get it up. I'll get it up.
So our next race is the men's 100 meter from the short hurdles category.
It's 31 degrees Celsius right there. So that's a hot day for the runners. That is a very hot day for the runners.
Oh yeah, so that explains it. Damn, I'm very impressive by Ty. She's looking great form. Strong finish, you know. I did put in our notes because Ty's only 25, which for a long distance runner is, you know, pretty young. She's still got 2-3 years until she hits her peak. So, you know, Ty's one to watch. According to Don Bond,
oh yeah, you read that.
Rewind it. Ty left a small gap, but she didn't move further inward to close the gap. Just wasn't big enough to get in through. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna pass any definitive comments until I see it again on a proper replay. But I do remember like yeah, Ty had a small gap there, and Ngetich was trying to push her way through.
It's a shame we couldn't see the like you know, it's a bit like this was the real conclusion, but the a different conclusion where she got through that gap and we could see them really fight for the finish there.
True. I think though, given the strength that Ty seemed to have, you know, I mean, checking your stride does seem to have a real big impact on the athletes, like more than you would necessarily expect. But I think with that gap, you know, Ngetich just didn't really have too much left.
Yeah.
She was able to rally a little bit, but you know, Ty was strong there. She had plenty of gas.
Yeah. Bateman asks, what do you think the first world record set this year will be with? Oh, if I think it'll be with or without Duplantis. I mean, to be fair, there's already been a lot of indoor world records, but if we're talking outdoor world records, man, what could really be on the card? I mean, obviously, you know, let's not talk Duplantis. First up, he's definitely going to get a world record sometime this year. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe it'll be the first time he gets 3. You say the 400?
Women's 400.
Women's 400. Well, there's a women's 400. That could be world record talk. There's the men's 800 after Wanyonyi yesterday. He proves he can just run whatever.
I wonder how soon that will happen, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, because like...
Jakob as well with the 1500s on up for the challenge putting 1500. I mean, I wonder, you know, late season. If we talk about the first world record, then I don't think it would be the 1500. But Jakob has looked in excellent form in the indoor season. And despite having a bad winter last year, he still ran a personal best in a 3:26 time. So, you know, with a good winter that he seems to have had now.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I do think it might be Jakob with some pace lights again. Get him in a nice meet. He'll probably break a little. He'll probably be the first because, like, I think the 800 and 400. The 400 needs some time to develop. Like, NASA ran, you know, a 48. Was it 48.6 yesterday? Yeah, it was 48.6. So that's like, you know, you got to chop off a second or more still. That's a lot for a 400. The 800 is closer in the sense that it's like they're 0.2 off, but they're not at the peak of their powers quite yet. Well, Jakob's already run a world record.
That's the thing. All the athletes are still peaking.
What's that?
You know, I mean, everyone's still peaking because, you know, Jakob's looking great right now, but throw him in a race. Is he really going to run more than, you know, is he going to run 3:26? I don't think so.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Now.
Also, I didn't mention it to the chat, but because you know, the race was kind of going on, but since they picked Ngetich, we got Tay, meaning we got a point there. So we have actually we've won the first 2 points.
First 2.
Chat's
I'm glad. I'm actually very pleased with myself to predict that. I finally predicted a race correctly, guys.
That's true, man. You know, it was women's distance. You know, you're all about. I mean, you're deep in the men's. You've got your fingers deep up in there. Just you know, don't need to say any more about that.
Yeah, I'm just a horrendous misogynist. That's what it is. But now I've become a feminist. Mary Mora and Ty have made me feminists.
I mean, Mary Mora has that effect on people. You watch her run once, and it's absolutely mesmerizing. Even though she pulled out. Oh.
I've quit watching Andrew Tate ever since I've laid eyes on Mary Mora.
All right, I'm going to put in the poll. So we've got the men's 110 hurdle runners running the 100-meter flat. That's what's up next. I'll put the poll in. I'll talk a little bit about the pick. So yesterday we had Dylan Beard winning here, and it was a pretty, you know, while everyone else in the field was super close, they were all within 0.1 of each other. In fact, yeah, 34, 35, 36, 38. Beard was the only one with some true separation. So it could be anyone's race. See, and the chat's already picking Beard based off the fact he won the 1 hurdles. But, you know, Tia won the women's hurdles yesterday. She didn't win the 100-meter flat today. So just keep that in mind when you're casting your vote. I want you to you need to think and dig deep on who you really think is going to win the 100.
Guys are a point behind, you know. these decisions matter.
Yeah, so
Back to chatting shit now that we're ahead.
yeah, now we can mess with them. Zoya, oh, I don't know about the Zoya pick. You got really? You might want to choose someone else. Okay, no, but
You told them not to pick Beard, and I told them not to pick Zoya. Who are they gonna pick?
yeah, I don't want them to pick the two fastest guys. No, I
Mine
looking
is,
at looking at Beard in the 100. He won the hurdles yesterday. I don't know if he's a particularly good 100 runner. Yeah, like his PB is pretty mid pack for everyone. A lot of the guys have run 10.5s, and he's in there with that group. I think if we're talking outstanding in the 100 meter, you've got
Daniel Roberts, 10:45, 2021.
you've got McLeod. He came 6th yesterday in the hurdles, but he's running 9.99 in the 100. So, funnily enough,
2016 though, to be fair.
yeah, it was in 2016. He didn't run well yesterday, so I didn't have him. And that was the mistake I made with the women's. So you can't even vote for him, even though I brought him up. Daniel Roberts with the 10:45. You mentioned that. Zoya has some really fast youth 100 meter times. So
He's got that raw talent at least.
yeah. So I actually think, now that the cards are on and you've already basically picked Zoya, that was going to be my pick. So thanks, chat. Yeah. Neymar in the chat. Zoya ran 10.4 at 16. That's exactly it. And he finished the race really strong yesterday. So in saying that, who do we pick?
Given
Adam?
that Zoya is not, I mean, it feels a bit boring, but I feel like Roberts has got the fastest PB that is not 10 years ago. Where did Roberts place in this?
He placed 4th yesterday,
most
and he finished pretty strong. But Crittenden and Zoya out of everyone else had the strongest looking finishes besides Dylan Baird, who won.
Multi-purpose and Roberts for the win. Yeah, I've been making a lot of the picks here. What do you think? Let's go with your pick. I'm suggesting Roberts, but that's purely just because he's around the fastest PB, bar Zoya.
I was leaning towards Roberts.
Yeah.
He tends to finish strong. He catches Holloway at the end of races a lot. Not actually like catching him. I mean, he has beaten him a couple times, but he'll close that gap. He'll close that gap in the last hurdle or over the last hurdle. So
All right, Roberts, it's locked in. Lane 6 to watch out for, and Zoya's in lane 5, so they're right next to each other as well.
Yeah,
Makes it nice and easy.
right next to each other, and I mean we got to keep an eye on Beard. He won yesterday. Got to show him his respect. Also,
Bright blue.
Yeah, there's the McLeod on the graphic with the 9.99. I wonder. I mean, it really could be like a thing where, he hasn't lost that foot speed. Actually, I do remember looking at McLeod's profile, and his 100 time has dropped since then. So,
Be interesting to see you hear the horns blaring in the background as well.
oh, it's the Jamaican way. You should hear it when the school champs are on, man. Like you can't even hear it.
Yeah.
You can't hear anything.
That's perfect. That's what you want. Good atmosphere, eh? All right. I'm feeling happy with that.
Me too. I'm excited. I really do think we could get a PB or two out here because a lot of these guys ran their hundreds a long time ago. They're stronger.
How much
athletes,
does
faster
temperature
athletes.
affect a 100-meter athlete?
The warmer the better.
Not a huge amount.
The warmer the better. There's definitely a drop off at some point, but heat makes
Is
you run
31
fast.
not where you get the drop off?
Nah. 31's brilliant. That's why all the Texas people are so fast. Or the Texas kids, I should say.
All right. It's about to start. Lane 5 and 6.
Oh, it's going down the front. Zoya's already making a lead with Roberts. That's our
Roberts
picks,
is
but
good.
Zoya
Fading
with
behind. Oh, Roberts fading. Zoya looking strong.
Zoya
Yeah,
with
domination.
different top end speed. That is the speed I saw yesterday over the final hurdle. If you watch the final hurdle, he took 2 steps and he moved up. Yeah, I mean he moved up from the back of the pack to second. Look at him dance, bro. Oh, that's the French.
Off. That's what we missed. We missed a Mora dance because of her less than stellar performance.
Yeah. Damn, Zoya's loving it, man. It's funny. Okay, so Zoya is he represents France, and I think he was born in France, but he actually studied in Australia. So he went to high school in Australia, and he did track in Australia, and he was like a young gout cat. He literally ripped up the track in Australia.
Of course, he's dancing though. He's run 100k.
Wait. Oh, true. Yeah, he won.
'Cause
No,
he
he's
came-
taken it all.
Exactly, and like it was a dominant win. So even if it's median time, then he's probably gonna go there and bag as well.
Yeah, no, he walked away there. I actually want to see the times listed because Tinch didn't have a. I'm pretty sure he had 11-second 100-meter before this. He runs the 100-meter so little. Damn, the field was actually really close at the finish there, so I couldn't tell who was in what place besides Zoya dominantly in the lead.
Yeah. I was keeping an eye on Zoya and Roberts pretty much exclusively. And Roberts started off well, but kind of faded to the back a little bit. I think he came like 5th.
Yeah. You know, some people mentioned this in the chat, and this is a really interesting fact. Duplantis ran faster against Vorholm.
What was his time? 10.5 something?
Duplantis ran 10.3.
Oh, 10.3.
Yeah, and these guys
Wow.
ran. Zoya won with a 10.55. So, you know, obviously it's a different occasion. You're in a stadium with people watching, and I think they've actually got a little bit of headwind. But to think Duplantis could have been ahead of this field by like a couple people's length, that is ridiculous. You know, you can't talk shit on Duplantis. That guy is an athlete. That's why he's the best.
See as well, I mean, they were kind of teasing it a little bit in some of the interviews and stuff, but they were about these sort of like gimmick races, for want of a better word, with, you know, Duplantis versus Warholm. Because that was really good fun. That was a great watch. I think Grand Slam track have an opportunity with their talent to do something like that after the season, you know, kind of post-world champs or something if people are up for it. Just for a bit of fun.
Someone just said 10.55 into a -2 headwind. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that's
a big headwind.
That's really quick. And yeah, Cordell Tinch running a 10.65. He actually, that's right, I've got it down here. He didn't have a 100-meter PB. He may have never run a 100-meter officially, but his 60 he ran a 60-meter race in 7:03, which means he would be struggling to break 11 if he run the 100 that day.
I'm still happy that Beard came second, you know. 80k for the warm-up guy. You gotta respect it.
Yeah. Oh, you love. Yeah. Seeing Beard succeed is a real.
It's a win for everyone at the end of the day.
Yeah, because he was, you know, he's the story of the common man. He was training hard, working a regular job, and then got, you know, proved himself by running a world lead. Got picked up by Walmart, and here he is, winning money on a massive stage.
All right. Men's 800 meters next. Conclusion to the men's short distance category.
Oh, here we are.
I mean, this is the interesting thing though, because of yesterday being such an upset. It's almost. I mean, it's of course still interesting, but the fact is that Wanyoni is in good form, has the fastest PB, and you know, Arop wasn't looking so hot in the 1500 meter. Of course, it is a different event. It seems that Arop is kind of a specialist 800 runner. But I think Wanyoni will be going in as a strong favorite here. Who out of us in chat, who gets first pick, by the way, for this one?
So 6-6. I mean, okay.
They did get Zoya first, so that's what I'll say.
Can we both pick Wanyoni? Like, can he realistically? Can he lose this?
Yeah. Because first of all, you know, you never know. You never know. Basically, like that's what I've learned. I mean, Cole Hocker looked phenomenal. If you look at his indoor season going into this Grand Slam track, and I obviously look, he still came third in the 1500 meter, but for him, he didn't look fantastic in that race, right? And I suppose an 800 meter is a bit more volatile than the 1500 meter. There's just a lot of things that can happen, especially with it being non-paced. Like Arop is a canny tactical racer, and he did say that you'll see championship racer Arop. But it's not like out of this world that Wanyoni wins. But you know, I think it's not out of this world that Wanyoni doesn't win. But I mean, he is the favorite, and rightly so.
What do you think of the other 800 guys? You know, Arop, Hoppel, Atui's an 800 guy. What do you think they can do this race? Like, are they going to beat the
win or?
Well, are they going to beat? Because it just looked like they were in good form in the 1500. I know they're out of their depth, but are they for certain going to beat the 1500 guys? Like, if we were to think of who's going on the pole for top 4, who could you even say would come top 3 really?
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, okay. So pole. Okay. If we're giving people Wanyoni, then Wanyoni. Arop has to go on the pole. I mean, yeah, we're kind of limited here because, okay, I don't think anyone's going to bet on a Tui or Gully. We can leave those two out. I think we have to put either Kerr or Hocker on the pole. I'd say Hocker because Kerr didn't look so hot in the 1500, so you wouldn't expect him to look hot.
Hocker in an interview talked not a big game, but he was talking up his 800. And I get it.
I mean, he has got that speed.
Yeah, he's got that raw speed. Like, if he can translate that to an 800, I mean, I've always thought, put him in an 800. I reckon he could be a world-class 800 guy.
It's interesting, yeah. I mean, because he's got a bit more of that acceleration physique. Like he's not as like powerfully built as say an Arop is, but he's got that leg speed.
Yeah. All right. People are asking for Hopple in the chat,
which makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that.
Apart from, I'd say definitely contender. So okay, should we say Arop, Hopple, Hocker,
Wanyoni? I've got it.
Seems we're giving them Wanyoni then.
Okay. I say if you listen, if you really want to do it. I say we can both pick Wanyoni. We could just like share the point if he wins, or if you have a seed of doubt, Adam, we could pick someone else and we could really get the upset point, and that would split us apart. Are you a gambling man?
Am I a gambling? I am a gambling man, but I don't bet on odds. I don't bet on bad odds, and Wanyoni losing is a bad odd, unfortunately.
Okay, so you're basically going for the draw point against Wanyoni.
I mean, I believe Wanyoni's going to win, but there is that little voice saying, it's a tactical race. Wanyoni's going to lead from the front. What will Arop do? I know. Can I get a second opinion here?
Well, someone in the chat,
what do you think we should do?
Andrew Hay said, you can't have the Wanyoni point. You already took a favourite today. Which is true. We took Dos Santos. We yoinked Dos Santos from their cold, dirty chat hands.
Okay. So seeing people don't want us to pick Wanyoni, let's go with Arop. And I picked him in my prediction to win this whole thing, so I think we got to stick with the boy.
All right, we're in the poll here. You guys get Wanyoni. We get the tall figure, Arop. The tall figure in the rear.
Wanyoni's rolled. Wanyoni's overrated.
That's right. No strike.
Speed runs go for Josh Kerr.
No strike needed, guys. We'll take the Arop pick.
Just update the points now, by the way, because
yeah, the points
I was exactly because Arop is obviously winning. So in terms of time as well, it's interesting because Wanyoni, it makes sense for him to just, if he has the legs for it, which I think he will because he looked comfortable in the 1500 meter. I mean, he was emoting in the last 10 meters. And it wasn't a super fast race for him. So,
yeah, you're right. He looked really good after yesterday's run.
That's the thing. So, which is weird as well because people like Kerr and Arca were kind of tightening up a bit. So, I see Wanyoni front running it, and it's just a case of whether Arap can turn on that kick and really challenge him.
What do you think of the time? What do you think prediction? Because yesterday, you said the 1500 wasn't fast. I mean, yeah, do they still have a lot more lift in the legs for a fast 800 today?
It's an early season thing. I mean, Wanyoni does. I mean, based on what we saw for him, but like the other guys, they don't seem to. But Wanyoni's gonna be front running it. Based off of their early season openers around this time, they tend to run around 143 high. So I'm gonna get that. Let's say 143 low because Wanyoni's just doing great, isn't he? Unless he makes it tactical.
Oh, here's Arop.
Is Arop going to the front? Interesting.
Yeah, he's making this his race.
He's taking this by the scruff of the neck, which isn't great because the last couple times he's done that, Wanyoni tends to draft off him and kick off. Hopple as well right up there. Yeah, they're making this a real race.
Yo,
This is what the 15 guys should have done, man. Come on.
Yo, this looks brutal for the 15 guys. Just the 800 guys, like it's like they can just run so much
Haka leading the
faster.
group.
And they
Yeah,
look,
and Tui right there in the back as well. Yeah.
they look
But has Arab
cooked in the
taken it
back.
too hard? Now I know. I'm watching Arab. Come on. You got this lead. Wanyoni moving up, looking strong. Yeah. Arab's fading. Go on, man. Come on. Keep up that stride. Keep on pushing.
You already think he's fading? You really?
I don't know. I mean, he seemed. I think Wanyoni was just closing the gap. Let's see. Yeah, Wanyoni's looking strong. I think he's going to make his move on the back straight.
Oh, Banyoni's looking unreal strong. I don't know, is
Yeah,
A-Rob
see,
chilling or is he
got
really
him.
fading though? I
Go
know
on, Arab. Go on. Take
Arab's
him. Take
putting
him.
up the
Yes,
cadence.
Arab. You got this. Okay. So he's holding him off the first one. Wanyoni's going to ride around the bend, try and make a push in the last 100. Oh, he's opened up a bit of a gap though. Come on, Arab. You got this. You got
Yeah, he
this.
really
Has
fought
Wanyoni
there.
spent his energy on that last bit? Has Wanyoni spent his energy? Go on, Arab. I'd love for him to win this so much.
Dude, A-Rob's gap. Chet's getting nervous.
Go on, Arab. Go on.
Chet's getting
Yes!
nervous.
Arab. I told you. Wanyoni's washed. He's washed. Arab. My goat. Where's Marco Arab goat fan? Where's Marco Arab goat fan? That's my guy. 145 though. What a guy. Arab,
145.
I'm
so
so
they,
glad.
They definitely,
145.
Banyoni definitely felt the race yesterday, no matter how many smiles he was.
Interesting. Yeah. We'd love to see it. I'm so happy with that, I have to be honest. In case you can tell.
Oh, dude. Mr. Gong
I'm so happy with
Along with the called it.
2 for 2 on the predictions, baby. 2 for 2 on the distance predictions.
Dude, you're on fire today, bro.
100%. Predicted every single race correctly except the ones I got wrong. But nah, I love that from Arab. He was obviously... Because it was interesting, right? He said in the Cities Mag interview prior to this, the whole event, the 1500 as well, saying you're going to see championship Arab, which basically, and he said, he's going to hang around the middle of the pack and then move his way up. And that's what he did in the World Championships 2023. He beat Wanyoni with this tactic, and he got a silver medal, just losing out to Wanyoni in the Olympics with this tactic. It was neck and neck. And this time he was like, no, I'm taking this out, front running, forget everyone else. We'd love to see it. I'm very happy with that. Because I just like Arab as well. I mean, Wanyoni seems like a really cool guy as well, but Arab just, just that chilled eye.
You're it, man, and you called the fade at like what 250 meters. You reckon he was fading, and then he held him off with a spurt of speed. Yeah, and then he just built a gap, and it didn't stop. Nah, man, that huge turnover. It's like it reminds me, similar to the 400 guys. Just so much strength in their steps. Like the 1500 guys looked like they're taking baby steps out there. Like in the shorter race, they really could not keep up, and I didn't know what to expect from the 15 guys. But,
yeah.
Now they got left.
I mean, I was expecting a 145 race from the 15 guys, assuming that the others ran like a 143-ish. But yeah, I mean, you could just see like, Arab did what the 15 guys should have done, because when Hocker opened it up with the 60-second first lap, that was the writing on the wall, 60-second first lap is 3:45 pace. Like, prior to them training for Grand Slam track, all of these 800 guys PB is like 3 to 5 seconds faster than that,
Yeah. No, they butchered it. They really butchered it. They gave it away.
Cole Hocker coming 5th.
That's some good points.
You know what?
Oh wait, no, came 5th.
I'm happy. That means my prediction aged well for Arab as being the overall champion. I mean, I did sleep on Wanyoni still, but like, very happy for Arab there.
Yes, but Wanyoni
Yeah,
obviously walks away with the money pretty convincingly there with a first and a second.
Yeah. Interesting. And I mean, I just saw a little shot of him after the race, but I think Wanyoni was looking a bit pissed off with that. But he just didn't seem to have the legs. I mean, he tried to make his move on the back straight. Like, I was kind of expecting a push again on the home straight, but he just didn't have it. And I think Arab was, he was pissed off,
As Adam, as Kerr's #1 criticizer, you've got that video talking about
chatting shit.
Yeah, how he's a ego piece of crap. But what do you think of his performances?
I didn't say that.
Come out today. Like, yeah, I know you did say that's a bit of fluff, but
Nah, so the thing with Kerr, and like, I mean, so I'm gonna make a breakdown on the 1500 meter for this race, and possibly the 800 as well, actually. So Kerr put himself, at least in the 1500, in a very strong position. Like, he was there, he just didn't have the legs for it basically, and it seems that the winter just affected him. And like I think Kerr did what he could with the fitness he was going into this camp, but ultimately, if you're gonna chat this much shit, especially with going back and forth with Arop saying, oh yeah, the idea of Arop running sub 330 is cute. Like he wasn't wrong in that Arop did do terribly, but like Kerr didn't exactly do stellar either.
Yeah, no, no. They handed the 15 to an 800 guy, and then he got absolutely walked and rinsed in the 800. Like it should have been the 800 guys
That's
chatting
what I mean.
shit. Yeah.
If I'm Arop now, I'm saying, the idea of like if Kerr says anything to Arop, you say you got dog walked by an 800 runner in both the 1500 meter and the 800. So, but I mean, this is the thing with Kerr. Like, I mean, I understand what he's trying to do, and he's a confident guy and stuff. But at the end of the day, you've won one big race. You won the World Champs. Like
That's brutal.
he is a great athlete.
Yeah, you can't doubt
He's a
that.
great
These are all
athlete.
great
I picked him
athletes.
against Ingebrigtsen in the Olympics. I picked him against Ingebrigtsen. I said he was going to get gold. I didn't. Hocker just wasn't on my radar at that point. But if you're gonna chat this much crap, then you've got to back it up. And you just look stupid when his last 3 races are fading badly in Zurich. I think coming 5th behind Laros, who's 18. Then pulling out of Milrose, fading. I think he came 4th behind. Was it 5th even behind Gurley as well in the 1500 meter?
Yeah.
Factor.
No, he wasn't even the fastest UK guy on the track. Dude, this 3K is about to start.
3K's about to start. Sorry, just
Yeah.
Josh Kerr.
Do we? Okay. I'm getting the poll sorted so we can pick before the race starts. I'll put in the top 4 of yesterday. Since 3K to 5K, the field. I mean, it's going to be a very similar race. I don't see it changing too much.
So Fisher, Bekele, I don't see Bekele doing much. He didn't look super strong. I think he's tired from the 10K. Although his 3K PB is strong. Have you got the poll sorted? Do you know who you're picking, or are we going to figure that out quickly?
No, I've got to figure that out. I put in Fisher, Tier, Jacobs, and Gibrahur. The guys who came top 4. What do you think of that?
Jacobs is interesting. I'm just thinking about Percival Best because Ndikwa Manayo has a. And just look at the Percival Best.
Yeah, he came 6th.
What do people want?
How
Do people
much?
want Jacobs or
Fisher,
they want
Tier,
Quemoy as well? That's another.
Quemoy. You don't want Gibrahur?
I don't see him doing well in the 3K, but he is a big name.
Right, I'll put in Quemoy. Well, this will be a bit of an odd poll. It was a rushed one because we were too enthralled with the 800 meters.
And chatting shit on Josh Kerr.
I do find it funny how the commentators, professional commentators can't really chat shit or give much flack to professional athletes. Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, I feel like it needs to be dished out sometimes. You can't let these guys just like walk all over our expectations.
To be fair, I did hear Steve Cram say that Arab Rickety can go sub 330. I know some of the other runners had things to say about that. He did very tentatively hint. So I'd say my breakdown of this, it was interesting. Grant Fisher was saying apparently that he reckons this will be faster than the 5K, which you would hope so, like pace-wise, obviously.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt reckoning a 74-second first lap. So, okay, Bekele taking the front instantly. He's making this a fast race. Oh, wow. No 74-second first lap for Bekele.
No, and we didn't have him in the poll. He finished pretty poorly last time. He looked really weak, after a slow race, not being able to finish with the other guys. But, he ran that 10K the other week. Has he just been...
Bekele needs to start 40 meters behind the others so he can really make an effort.
But it's true, man, the adrenaline boost in the first couple laps from that. Like, I mean, he made up those 3 laps like nothing the other day in the 10K.
Ping Pointer saying, Adam, just put Jakob in every thumbnail click. I mean, what do you think my plan was over the Olympics? Just if you look at the thumbnail page, Jakob's in pretty much every single one.
Holy smokes, look at this gap he's pulling. Yeah.
Gebrewehr. So the reason I was saying I don't believe in Gebrewehr is because he just doesn't seem to have that speed, basically. And he's 30, you wouldn't expect him to. And yeah, as Steve Cram just said, Geberit doesn't tend to front run. In his two fastest 5K performances, in his 12:36 and I don't know if it was actually his second fastest, but it's 12:44 in the Diamond League final. He drafted off the other Ethiopians, and then kicked in the last lap or so. But it'll be interesting to see what the others are going to do. Is this going to be a women's race where they just run away from it, or are they going to slowly get reeled in by the pack?
What do you reckon about the pack behind just allowing this gap to build?
Yeah, it's interesting because another thing as well is that this is two Ethiopians here, and the Ethiopians, they're going to do their team tactics. So that, you can see them alternating the pace a little bit.
And the gap is just crying. They're just letting it happen. I mean,
they're letting it happen.
And it's not...
I didn't make my prediction before, crap, so I can't say... It's a bit rude to say Bekele now. I did count him out, and Geberit.
Who were you going to pick?
Go.
Just say who you would have picked, I reckon.
I mean, Fisher, sure, but I didn't really have any thoughts because I knew Fisher would be taken.
They're right.
So maybe I would have picked Tate, but because it's a 3K and Tier's kind of better at that, and it's tactical, but still.
All right, we're going in pickless then. We've missed our opportunity. they've got Fisher.
We lose either way.
You know what, I think if you pick Tier right now, I don't think anyone would be too mad.
Okay, I'll pick Tier now because he's not at least so then we have a pick. I don't mean this is our ATV to gap. God damn.
Yeah, look at that. I know one man
unless they
bring
blow
that
up
back, and he's in the front right now.
Oh. I mean, I feel like at this point, I understand that they've got, that you got to let them see, is this a real kick or not? Are they going to gas out? But this is a 3K race. You haven't got as much time as you think.
No, definitely not. That's what I'm saying. This is not a long race, dude, and this is massive.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big lead. This isn't like, they've got a 20, 30 meter gap. We'll see. And as I say, two Ethiopians, they're going to do team tactics. I wouldn't be surprised if Geberit waves Bekele on and says, help me out a bit here.
I wonder if they're them to be thinking about because Geberit Hewitt came out 4th in the 5,000 meters. So if he wins this massively and the guys are misplaced behind him, he could technically still win. While Bekele doesn't really have a chance of walking away with a massive paycheck coming 7th yesterday.
You know what Grant Fish is thinking? I've just realized because of the point system, he's thinking, look, these two are placed poorly in the last event. Why am I going to leave myself out to be shot at and take a big risk in trying to chase them when if I place 3rd, I've won?
That's really true, yeah. Grant Fisher can just sit in that pack. And then... This is a different level of tactics, man.
Yeah, we've basically got 2 races going on here because Grant Fisher knows that if he comes 3rd, he's got it in the bag, basically. Unless, if he comes 3rd.
Yeah, no, he would.
Right, so Geberit dropping the hammer now. I really hope that given they've given us CCTV 4 cameras, they show us both races as opposed to just one of them.
Let's see if we're getting shots of Grand Slam track and the photographers.
All right, let's see if Geberit, because one thing you do notice that Geberit does sometimes do, and this is kind of a bit different, but you notice it in the Olympics and in yesterday's race, first day's race even. He drops the hammer with 600 to go and then fades with about 200 to go. You kind of see him, make a big move and then doesn't really back it up in the end. That's kind of why I say he hasn't got crazy finishing speed.
Yep, so instead of kicking, he tries to run the legs out of them and just seeing what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Geberit or Bekele, this is the tactic you do because if you're a 5K, 10K guy, you're not going to beat them in a sit and kick race. Tier's a 1500 guy, Jacobs as well. That's what happened yesterday. So yeah, I mean, this is smart running, but I think the reason why the pack haven't chased them is because no one's taking the initiative. And Fisher is the only one who's really fit enough to properly keep up. Maybe Kwemoe, but Kwemoe is not the strongest runner.
It's interesting though because only Grant is in a safe position. No one else has confirmed any money. First is 12
I suppose.
points.
Yeah.
If Geberit Hewitt wins this, Tier doesn't come second. Jacobs won't come second or third.
I mean, I think it's just because. I don't know. Let me check their 3K PBs. But I suppose maybe this is a bit of a cynical take, I suppose. But they're thinking, look, I'm probably if Geberit is serious about this and he has the ability to just keep this pace going, they're not going to be able to keep up. So instead of trying to keep up, burning themselves out and placing 7th or 8th, they could, you know, try and place, say, 3rd or 4th, still get a good paycheck, and also they have a chance of eating up Gebruet in case this attends actually, you know, in case this is a false alarm. He doesn't actually have the fitness to keep this up.
Yeah. People in the chat are getting pretty argumentative about the style of race here.
Interesting. Let me see. Kayla Joppin. Cowardly. Oh, you're right. People don't like Grant Fisher. Oof. I mean, Fisher's playing it smart at the end of the day. Like, you know.
There's also people arguing in favor of Fisher. I saw a good comment by the Lapras man. Do you get mad at every winner of the decathlon for not redlining the 1500 meter when they have big points lead? I mean, it's a good strategy. Grant doesn't need to be out there, but I think the other argument is like the other guys do need to be out there, you know? So it's like, it's surprising to me that the other guys aren't forcing Grant to essentially run faster, and they've handed Gebrhiut the win, handed Gebrhiut a second place basically.
I mean, I think they're just taking a perspective that, you know, as I say, if Gebruet is serious, by the way, they're not going to keep up. Yeah. I mean, it seems like Gebruet's got this in the bag. But like as I say, I think they're taking the perspective of if Gebruet is serious and he can maintain his pace, they ain't keeping up. And if Gebruet isn't serious, then, you know, they don't need to worry about it. He'll gas out. So, look, he's emoting. Come on, yeah. Get a few clips, clip farm here. You should.
Dude, he was banging his chest.
Hey, if I was him, I'd be emoting everything. I'd be running on this backwards if I needed to.
He should have.
He should have run it backwards. Should have forward rolled at the end.
Bekele be happy with this. I'm happy he got a good run.
Second, I'm happy. Yeah, bit of redemption from yesterday.
Yeah, and that's Grant Fisher.
Oh, is that Grant Fisher?
Yeah, he walked down the rest of the field on that home stretch. We barely got to see it, but he was hardly
kind of
in the
annoyed
race.
they didn't show us that, because that was the real race. I mean, if he came 3rd, then, like, people are saying that Fisher's made a big mistake, but he is being smart at the end of the day. Like, I understand that it's not what you want to see, and it's a bit kind of anticlimactic. Like, this is sort of what I mean. Gebruet's destroyed the field, but Grant Fisher wins overall. You know, but like, there's no reason apart from ego for Grant Fisher to go out and try and chase Gebruet. And if he does, he runs the risk of gassing himself out, you know?
And you know what's interesting? In the poll, the chat preferred not having Gebrehirt on the poll. And now no one walks away with any points here. You know, us.
Oh, yeah.
Why are people?
I mean, I was going to pick Gebruet, of course. I was going to pick... It was always my favourite to win this race in my book, you know. I never counted him out. So I would have picked him, but...
Yeah. Of course, you know, just we're just backed into a corner.
Exactly.
Yeah, well...
I see what I'm trying to... That was Galaxy Brained.
That was interesting how a race can turn out like that. That's probably the one race that makes me question this format a little. I would have liked to see a more competitive race.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I was trying to reference in my first Grand Slam track video, is that it does feel a bit odd that, you know, Grant Fisher just, you know, sat back. Like, if I was Grant Fisher, I'd do the same thing. Why is he going to risk injury and gassing himself out when he can just ride the pack, you know, and run an 8-minute 3K to get, you know, to collect his 100K?
100K, yeah.
Ping Pong Edit's fighting for his life right now. Ethiopia flag being grabbed.
I think there's good points for both sides, truly, but I don't know.
I understand it.
I don't think I do think there's a good argument for like Terran and the rest of the guys not pushing for better placing. That doesn't make sense to me.
I understand it, to be honest. Like, I mean, I was saying, right, because I don't know if this will be their mindset, because it basically means that they'd have to admit that the other athletes are better than them. But if Gebruet is serious, like, with that pace, they probably figure, like, I'm not going to be able to keep up with that, right? So there's no point in trying to go with something you're not going to be able to keep up with because
mean-
you're just going to be running out on your own and probably fade, right?
7:51's not like a particularly amazing elite time. You know, he did it. Granted, he did it completely alone.
To be
in the
fair, you're
wind.
right. Actually, it was really slow. Well, yeah, you're right. If it's so slow, then
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
because
an incredible
750. If it was,
pace.
I was kind of assuming that Gabriel ran really fast, but obviously, yeah.
That was a snooze jog fest even up front really. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is with these Grand Slam angles. They make it look like it's way faster than it is. Or maybe I'm just terrible at judging it, but I swear.
it's the Jamaican track, bro. How do you think they look so fast?
I think just because they have it so zoomed in, that's what it is. Do you Anna? Do you want to put a poll maybe where we like question people? Do you support Grant Fisher's decision there? Should Fisher have pushed it?
No, I was thinking
Curious
about it.
because
But I
there's,
think
a lot. There's a lot of back and forth here.
Alright, you know what? Okay.
Flames,
Well,
fan
what
the
should it be? Grant was right. Grant was wrong.
Yeah. Grant was right. Grant was wrong. Because ultimately he won, you know, maximum points.
All right, we'll run a
Geberit
quick, we'll
coming
run a quick
second.
poll, guys, for the opinionated fellas. We'll see what the genuine consensus is.
Really great closing speed. Like, I don't know that he's Sidney McLaughlin LeBron closing speed, but Grant Fisher's fast, and we're only 2 races.
Grant was right. Seems to be the predominant
Grant was
opinion.
right. Grant was right. I think, hey man, 8-minute 3K is getting a lot of votes because, dude, like, yeah, even first place 7:51.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, like, I think the long distances were always going to be a tactical race, especially in 31 degrees, you know. And they've already run the 5K. Like, this race especially was going to be tactical, you know.
Ping pong edits.
I don't know
Chat,
if
you will
anyone's
never
ex-
win
you
the
know.
Olympics.
I'm going to prove you wrong, ping pong edits.
Yeah, that's it.
Adam Janssen, Brisbane 2032. To all the TikTokers, if that's still a thing, then like save this clip so you can feature me in a Sigma edit when I am holding the British flag high in the Brisbane stadium. Josh Kerr crying in the corner.
All right, let's
Loki though, I
get
probably
this.
have to beat one Johnny in the 1500, and that ain't happening. So
Let's move. Let's get on to the 200 meters because I think that's starting
Right.
soon. So
yeah,
yesterday
damn it,
we
wait.
had Jefferson winning the 100, but she is notably not a good 200 runner, or doesn't focus on it. Gina Prandini, who was the late entry, she stole the show yesterday. She came second in the 100 with 11:23, and she's in this entire field. So you got Nita, or Daryl Nita from the UK, who you could arguably say is she's truly a mix of a 200 and 100 meter. But then the rest of these girls are all 100 meter runners. So for them to lose to Prandini, I think Prandini, the late entry, has a good shot of walking away with the overall win here. I'm putting Sears in the poll as well. I'll put in Nita. I think these are good picks, and obviously we have the lead, so we'll let chat pick. See, Cameron Brady, Prandini should just win this. I think that's right. Someone said Nita should win this, but I don't know.
We said we were going to pick Brandini, to be fair, but if the chat have got him, the chat have got him.
Well, see, the thing is we're one up. So, and also
We are one up.
yeah.
Is this the second last event?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes,
so
it is.
if we give
So
them,
if chat wins this, then it's a tiebreaker, baby.
yeah. See, but they've got the pick here. We get the next pick, and you know who's running next race?
Ooh.
You know who's running next race?
Who's running next race?
Sidney McLaughlin.
So they're cooked.
Yeah,
They're cooked.
They're cooked. We're back into a corner, chat.
We've won.
I mean,
Unless imagine if Sydney falls over twice in the race. That'd be crazy.
oh look, the chat's actually finding between Prandini and Nita. I understand the Nita pick because out of this whole field, you've only got two 200 meter runners really.
The need for a 200 runner. Or like one.
She does both. She does both. While
Yeah.
Jefferson's like purely 100. Alana Reid is purely 100. Sears actually has an alright 200, but like massively better 100 meter. Actually, Clark has a really good 200, but I mean, Clark looked well out of shape running 11:58 yesterday. That is that's going to translate to like a 23-second 200.
Don Bond saying, chat, we go for the intentional loss now, then go for the Sydney pick for the next race. Well, then it becomes a tie.
They do it, yeah, they do have a strategy.
I have elite tactics there. Elite tactics by Don Bond.
That's a long distance runner right there. That's how you know he's got a brain.
Exactly. Grant Fisher type brain.
SML purposely races third to lock in the 100k. She's getting yeah. Why would she lose? Why would she lose? All right, I think I'm in the poll here. You guys have got Prandini.
Tactical one.
I think me and Adam are happy to go Nita. Those would definitely
Yeah,
be.
I'm happy with Nita.
I'm pretty confident those would be the top two. I think Jefferson, you know, technically looking in the best form with a 11:11 yesterday, but I would just bet more on a 200 meter runner, especially for the women's, because their 200 meter times don't quite stack up to their 100 times like the men's. Sydney is not in this race. She's in the next race.
What's TRP's streamer saying?
Say Jefferson wins. Who gets Sydney? Actually, now thinking about it, when Sydney raced last time, we picked for second place.
We did.
Yeah. No,
Okay, look, if it's 7-7 going into this, so because obviously if Nita wins, then it's impossible. But okay, I've got an idea. So if Nita wins, then obviously we're up 8-6. And then maybe chat could pick someone else to, like, if Lavroni loses, as in they pick the someone to beat Lavroni. Obviously she won't, but then if chat does win, then they get 2 points because it's like Sydney's lost.
Alright, I'm going to turn up for this race.
Cut the waffle.
I see Prandini and the second most farthest outside lane. So that's their pick. Nita's in the middle lane in the red booty shorts and top.
Lane 6 and lane 4.
Dude, Prandini's running strong. Nita's up there
not
too.
looking too good. Is she?
Yeah, look at Prandini, and Jefferson ran a good bend too, but she.
Oh.
Whoa.
Kind of fainting a bit. Is that Prandini?
Jefferson pulled
Just
away in the
getting edged
finish.
out.
The
Jefferson
closing
doing
speed.
In the women's short sprints,
Oh
24
boy.
points.
it was tough in the wind, but his timing is not very quick. Started well, put immediate pressure on
Oh wow. That was incredible closing speed from Jefferson. I did not see that coming. What was the time? Did you see the clock when it finished?
I did not see the time. Apparently, Steve Crown was saying it's not too fast.
It's not too far. There is I think, man, I haven't been able to see the wind in the other races, but there's probably a pretty hefty headwind down there. You can even see it on the tents. No, Jefferson winning both. That was day one definitely saw winning the 100. I didn't really see anyone else kind of winning that, but the 200 for her to finish off stronger and Prandini and Nita. I think Nita might have got fourth. 23:56 for Prandini. Okay, so the times were quite subpar. Oh yeah,
Apparently
someone
the wind
said,
is really strong out there.
yeah, negative 3.4 in the women's hurdles. Okay, so the times are kind of void today. It's really just about winning. 100 count the line, the running hit's different. That's for sure. No, Jefferson. I think it's really cool seeing Jefferson won bronze in Paris. It's so cool seeing her come out here and run a 200 because if it wasn't for Grand Slam track, you wouldn't see her run a 200 unless it was like really opening season. But to see her run it like raw and really go for it. I mean, there should be a lot more challenges in the women's 200. The field like cuts in half. Jumpman would place dead last. That's not true, Usain Bolt. Wait, actually, maybe into the headwind. 22.9, but that was a comfortable wind. It was.
plus 5.5 wind.
No, it was legal. It was plus 0.8. That's cool.
I'm so happy for Arok, man. I know. This is my post.
Back to her,
Sorry.
Rob.
You know what? You know what the worst thing is? My ego is so massive. I'm not even so happy for Arab. I'm happy I picked Arab to win.
So
Anyway,
so that's
last race.
self-servicing. It's all about you at the end of the day. It's not about A-Rob.
That's what I mean. But you know, as long as you admit you've got a massive ego, then I think it's not as bad.
I mean, hey Adam, you know,
Obviously happy
I'll
for
give it
Arab
to you.
as
You're
well.
the reason we got
I
the
like that.
7-6 lead up on chat. All chat can do next race is bring it back to draws.
Right. So we need to pick. What's it called? We need to do for second place, I reckon, because you know
Yeah.
Sydney's gonna win.
No,
right?
we'll pick
So-
for second place. We'll pick for second place. And there's the
And
the
obviously,
final points.
in the
No, I was just
final
saying.
point.
Look, it
In the
was
highly
interesting to see
unlikely event
Sears came
that
third.
Sydney
Yeah.
loses.
No, was that though?
In the highly unlikely event that Sydney loses by either being bad or falling over or something like that, we'll say that, like, you know, whoever came, the second place pick will become the first place pick, if that makes sense.
Yep. I'm happy with that.
Right. Sorry. So,
Favor Ann said, please, what are those times? And the comment right before you is someone saying it was a negative 4.7 headwind. That is brutal. Now, those are... you put that into a
well, to be fair,
wind calculator and you'd get some pretty decent times.
I mean, going back to, you know, you were questioning about why, you know, the race was super slow for the men's 5K. Why aren't the others trying to go everywhere? If that's the kind of winds you're dealing with, then, you know, you're really leaving yourself out there to be shot at. If you're, you know, staying in the pack will net you a better result because, you know, you can draft behind people, and that becomes a massive factor in a minus 4.7 headwind.
That's true. No, you are right. Running the distance races and like near hurricane winds like that would take a massive toll. Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense for
And
some
also
of the
the heat
some of the
as well.
times or so. Yeah, that's not good conditions for the distance runners, eh?
All right. So, second place poll. What are we saying?
Second place
Scrolling
goal.
down to our
It's always
cheeky sheet.
brutal, is it not? All right.
So this is the 400 meters for the women's long hurdles. Yes.
Yeah. So when they ran the 4 hurdles, it's also I think it's funny that you mentioned if Sydney falls over and stuff, they're not running the 4 hurdles. You know, she just ran cleanly over hurdles. They're running the 4 flat now. Her tripping is like a near it's like a near zero
Yeah,
chance.
I know. I don't know. Maybe someone like puts a laser pointer in her eye or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you don't know what could happen out here.
We'll get our agent on the ground to fix some stuff up.
So, top 4 last time. I mean, obviously, Sydney was in first. Mohammed came second, which was kind of an out there pick considering she was talking about retirement this year, and she's out here smashing it, getting her bag before she's out of the sport.
Getting a bag. You said no way she getting a bag last time. You ridiculed me for saying that. But yeah, go ahead.
She's.
Go ahead.
We all know it's about the money. Come on, man. I would never argue. Such a good point from you.
I mean, because, you know, the way I see it, if she's not going to be a huge contender for like world champs and stuff, you know, secure the bag for her family, live a comfortable life. But anyway,
I think she's already achieved most of those things, but you know. All right, so I got Mohammed, Clayton, Knight. Clayton and Knight, 2 Jamaicans, which is cool. But then in the race, Peters came 5th, who is she actually has a decent 400 time. So I'm gonna put her in. I'm gonna put her time. I don't think she'll get many votes, but put her in. I spelled Peters wrong, but don't mind that.
Yeah, in terms of PBs, I think it's the 3rd fastest. Yeah.
Okay, so what?
Sydney with obviously a massive PB advantage.
Yeah, I mean, how well are these other girls over 400 flat? So Clayton with a 51.81, Knight with a 51.23. Muhammad actually has the fastest, so the votes are coming in. She's also in form, and she's running 56.
But how out of date is that 400? You know, that could be from 2015.
I actually don't know. Delilah Muhammad. I'll give it a quick Google.
Seems that Muhammad is the favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
Reasonable. I
it's
agree.
hard not to pick her because she got second yesterday. I know you don't know too much of the history about her, but before Sydney, Delilah Muhammad was she was the world record
Was
breaker.
Sydney.
She was winning everything. Yeah, she was Sydney before Sydney, and they show her that respect when they talk about her in interviews. So she's definitely got a
So
leg up
User
on
J
everyone.
has said, and
Yeah,
I want to pose this question to you. User J is saying, not to shade, but Muhammad is so old that can she recover as well as the other competitors?
that is a really good point. But in saying that, you've just given me and Adam confidence to pick someone else where you guys fall over on the Muhammad pick.
Your downfall. User J tried to warn you. I mean, I don't know how much of a factor would that be for 400 hurdles. I mean, obviously it's a tough event, but like it's a one lap,
You obviously
And
haven't
they-
run.
and they had
You
an
obviously
extra
haven't run sprint workouts, bro. Come on.
Well, you mean 5 by 100? That sounds very intense.
of course, a distance runner would say
Sprint
something like that, bro.
workouts.
Dude,
Workouts, come on.
You run.
Give me a break.
You run like. You don't even run 5 100s in a sprint training session. You run like 6
I know,
to 8
yeah, well,
30
4
meters.
60s.
6 to 8 30 meters, like with a flying
You
start.
can't call that a workout, man. You can't call that workout.
Dude, if you time your sprints, if you
Do
run
8
that
by 1K
workout,
at threshold and then come back to me.
if you run that workout and then run like an all-out 100 meter the next day, you will lose like 0.2 or 0.3 off your time because your legs just get shredded. It's different, You're not working your aerobic system. You're literally shredding your muscles. They cannot produce the same amount of power the next day. That's why like sprinters will train. They'll only train actual sprinting 2 to 3 times a week.
2-3 times a week. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Then it's
can't.
the conditioning and other stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it always amazes me how at the Olympics they manage to come back day after day after day to run such fast times. I guess they've obviously prepared for it by that point, but all right, they've got the pick
Alright.
on Muhammad.
They've got to pick them out.
Yeah, we'll give them Muhammad.
What's your thoughts? You're much more savvy with the women's long hurdles than me.
I think we're boned personally. I think we've just given them the draw. No, but I
What
think
nice say.
I think
nice.
that Jaden, I think you said
could've
that,
just picked this
that comment was right. I think Muhammad might actually have a hard time recovering because she ran a really good race. I mean, obviously would have to go with Clayton or Knight. Knight has the faster 400 PB, and she barely lost to Clayton.
A reasonable amount as well.
And
What was her?
what?
Sorry. Let's see. In terms of recent events, Clayton ran a 52.38 400 meter in Velocity Fest, whereas Knight ran a 52.84.
Oh,
That was indoors though.
that was indoors. Man, this is going to be a hard pick. We could lose it all here. A lot of pressure.
Yeah. It is a lot of pressure.
I think I've got a good feeling about Knight. She has the faster
You've got a
400
good feeling
PB.
about her.
Yeah, and I think I might be completely wrong because I don't have the race replay. And in fact, we haven't seen any race replays because we're not we're not allowed to. But from memory, I think Clayton went out really hard and then faded a little bit while Knight was pulling it back at the end. And you remove the hurdles. Someone who's clawing it back at the end of the race probably has a little more potential for moving on to the next day.
Okay.
Robin did say you guys could go Peters for the wild card pick, and you're saying wild card pick.
The third fastest one.
She already ran a 51:08, no, a 51:56 indoors this year. So she's run the fastest. She ran the fastest indoor 400 this year. She's actually a really good 400 flat
no.
runner.
That's making me think that maybe we should go with that.
No, don't be
Half-back
silly.
as well.
She
Oh no. Okay.
yesterday she looked
okay.
pretty bad over the hurdles, but in theory on a perfect day she should actually contend.
I mean, just from the perspective that form is everything with these early season meets, personal best is kind of, if she's got a good time for the indoors.
Yeah, but
I mean, like, bear in mind, she's run a second faster indoors, more than a second faster than Knight.
the big. Yeah, no, she has. Oh, okay. Whoa. I don't know, but yesterday's the best indicator of form. Like.
But that's in a different event. It's in a different event.
What? So you want to pick Peters? You want to go wild card and pick Peters?
No, I'm playing devil's advocate here, right? Like, I'm trying to make sure that our reasoning is thorough.
Listen, if you watched the race yesterday, Peters was wobbling at 300 meters, like a lot of side to side movement, really fighting for her life. So
Okay. Look, I'll trust you then.
we've got
We'll
Knight.
go with Knight.
They've got Muhammad.
Got Knight. But if
I'm gonna
Peters
turn this
wins, I'm
up.
flaming you for it.
Oh, absolutely. For the final, this is the final race, final event for the first
Final
Grand
race.
Slam track.
Final race of Grand Slam track.
Will Sydney walk
Give
away
our-
with
I swear
100
to
grand?
God, biggest question of the night. How much will Sydney win?
We should have had that as a poll as well.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's already pulled out.
Already.
That's Clayton out.
Ooh.
Oh, we picked Knight. I had a
Clayton
feeling.
out.
I had a feeling, bro.
Okay, glad we didn't pick Clayton. Oh, she was limping though. Looked like she was injured. Yeah, Lavroni eating up
Yeah,
as
Lavoni
expected. Fall over.
Yeah, she's really ate up everyone. But to be fair, we've got 4 girls behind her chasing. That's
Might be-
That's Peters in the back there, wobbling. So there's your pick, Adam.
He's in the back. Yeah. Hey, I didn't pick her. I trusted you.
Oh man, they're really on the line.
Oh, very close. Very close. Got a bit of a pulling ahead though. Who's that in lane 3?
51-3-2. Knight took second place. You hear that?
Yes.
Knight took second
Knight
place.
took second place. 8-6. 8-6, baby.
Yeah, the commentator talking about the victory never in doubt. That's another Sydney McLaughlin performance you're gonna get. Although 51 seconds, there were girls who run that this year. I'm amazed it was such a big difference. Maybe the wind on the final stretch really took it out of them. No, good game, chat.
Enjoy saying that he picks it. Yeah, it was tight. They had us in the first two slams. We pulled it back nicely.
Dude, we walked into today down a point and we absolutely mauled them. Chat, we are better. We are better than the chat hive mind at picking our bets.
We're not sheep. We're the shepherds.
I didn't see what place Muhammad came. It was hard to differentiate who came where in that final stretch because they were just all lined up.
Sydney though, why she look so pissed off?
Did you see her smile? Did she smile at the end of this? Oh, hey, there's a
I
smile.
wasn't paying a huge amount of attention, but you look there. Maybe she's just catching her breath, but yeah.
Is that you
Okay,
genuinely
okay,
just
it's
noticing it, or are you trying to point it out?
No, sorry, I was watching the YouTube stream, not now.
Okay.
I know, I do that sometimes because I've got the VLC stream and then the chat on the right for the YouTube stream, so I can see what the chat's saying.
Oh yeah, so you.
And then someone's just quick enough to look at the chat. I don't notice it. So seamless.
That's the finish of the first Grand
TLP
Slam
versus
track.
Jumpman in a 200.
I would smoke TRP. You get us in a distance race though. TRP is a distance guy, so. I mean,
Oh,
if-
is he? Me versus TLP in a distance race then. Me versus Runnerboy even.
Dude.
Runnerboy used to do cross country, I think.
You think Runner Boy's really quick? I think he's a super dedicated guy, right? Like he'd be a hardcore runner.
Yeah, I mean, so am I though. What can I say? Running with 28-minute 10K runners. I mean, I wasn't keeping up with them by any stretch of the means, but I trained with them.
Yeah, I've stood on the same track as Olympians. That's come on. I mean something. All right. I mean, yeah, that's in. I mean, Sydney took away the 100. The last race, a little bit anticlimactic because Sydney was always going to walk away with it.
I suppose they're keeping it safe, Sydney's a big star. You get to see her. I think she was very popular with the Jamaican fans as well.
Cheers, yeah, cheers. Cheers, Dom, for the kind comment. I'm hoping they let us do it too, because even though it's the 4 cams and it's a little bit scuffed, it's a super fun experience
It's
to
fun
do.
and you can't see what's happening.
Yeah, and to do a watch along, even if it's only like 3-4 times a year, I think it's a fun experience for everyone, and it definitely leaves a positive view on Grand Slam. for letting creators do this.
Yeah, exactly. I just hope. I mean, so obviously a big topic with the whole slam and how it's gone is the crowd. So you were saying to me earlier that you think that America will be filled up much better than the Kingston Slam.
I do think so. I think, yeah, we talked about it a little. America's more about their grander events, and Americans love getting out to see anything. You know, you could put on any event there, and as long as you get the marketing right and you say it's going to be big, people show up. I think, you know, who knows about packed stands? It depends how big of a stadium they get. It was ambitious to choose a stadium this big. You know, 35,000 capacity. That's a big stadium to fill out.
Especially as it's had meets very recently, so it's like you'll see the contrast if it isn't sold out.
Yeah.
Apparently, a couple of people are saying that. Ghostface Nasser is saying that Jamaican fans on Twitter hate Sydney. So maybe I'm wrong. I can't speak for Jamaica, to be fair.
It's because she's rinsing their athletes every time they race, you know.
Fair enough.
Someone said the fee got much better than the first day. I think, I mean, again, this is the very first one. You know, if it's going to be, you know, if it ended up all right by the end of it, it's only going to get better in future. The races, like the athletes they involve, it's only going to get better.
I'd say the only real failing of this was the, I mean, obviously the broadcast at the start and then just the crowd. But apart from that, I think it was a success.
We need to go back to COVID times where they include a virtual crowd. We would have filled it out.
Yeah, just get a bunch of screens up. Yeah. But yeah, it's just the crowd. So if your thoughts end up being true and the American slams are filled up, and you know, I'd hope the Grand Slam track will be, you know, promising in the future. And I think Grand Slam track success is a positive thing for track and field. So, you know, it's very fun to dog on them sometimes when they make these big claims and we see, you know, 200 people in the stadium. But like, we should remember that, you know, they're giving athletes a good prize money, good opportunity. And they seem to have much more ideas than, you know, Diamond League and World Athletics do right now. So, yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, opportunity is the best and biggest thing you could offer to athletes to build track. Because again, more opportunities, people are going to stay on the sport. And I keep saying it, and it's because I truly believe it, you know. Kids are going to see this, and they're going to want to run track and stay in the sport more. And then, you know, 10 years down the line, Usain Bolt's world record will go down.
Gout.
Oh, mate, you don't know what's going to come through with big prize money like this online. We're going to get bloody 3 gouts in the next 5 years, I reckon, based off the trajectory of how fast kids keep getting. It's just silly.
We're being accused of political waffle. We're just being the yes men, you know. We've been bought over.
You know, I'm streaming. I'm genuinely very excited about anything track related. Like, this didn't even include field. I'm like my main thing is jumps. I love the jumps, but I'm excited for this. I love watching track. So giving me more track, I'm a happy man.
I mean, I think as well. I'm happy to criticize Grand Slam track, and you know, I'll be making a video kind of in reaction to this whole Kingston Slam, and I will criticize them when need to. But you know, I still stand by my points. I'm not one to just say stuff to get streaming rights.
Yeah, that's true. I think, and they've given us a nice a platform to actually speak about it freely too. Like, we weren't given any guidelines, and like we had to say anything or do anything. We're speaking purely freely. It's all our own thoughts. I think
Kalinas. Well, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to mention the same comment. Thoughts on the format? Kind of interesting, a bit of a gimmick too. Might get old pretty quick with slow times and distance events. You can go first, Adam. He's mentioned distance events.
Yeah, I mean, I think as
has Adam just disconnected? He's just about to go on the biggest spiel of his life, and he's disconnected. Oh, that's unfortunate for him. But I'll answer your question. Don't worry. Oh.
Am I back?
Oh yeah, you're back. Okay, you can answer.
So my USB of the microphone came up. Yeah. So as I was saying, I think that as if there's like 40-minute 5Ks for races regularly, that type of super tactical stuff, then yeah, it probably will get a bit old. But I think Grand Slam track can easily they can find ways to do time incentives or points or that type of thing if they really need to. And I found it interesting with the point system and how that plays into tactics. Obviously a lot of debate was caused by Grant Fisher's decision not to try and win. So I think it was pulled off better than I expected, I'd say, in terms of the format.
All right. Here's a comment. Favorite moment today was Josh running 800 slower than Quincy Wilson. I thought I just needed to highlight that. That's a crazy match.
Everyone hates Josh Kerr.
But for the format, for me, I really enjoyed it. I enjoy the gimmicky formats. I think it's a way to keep the fan interested and seated. And we also get more races out of the athletes. Like, who can complain about more races? And you say slow times, but, with 100K on the line and World Championships coming near, like, some athletes are going to come in with disgusting form. Like, they're going to be using these as massive tune-ups. Like, it's not often you get to run a 100, 200 double. Like, let's say you're a sprinter. And get to work on it against a top field. So the times are going to quicken up as the season goes. I think even in the distance events, and especially if they get Jakob as a challenger, which Adam said they might not.
I mean, I think Jakob, both Jakob and Laos, they need to wait. And if I was them, I would wait at the very least for the Miami Slam and see what the attendance is looking like there, because it's not a good look for them to be running in an empty stadium. It just looks tacky, right?
Yep. No, you're right about that.
If they do start selling out tickets there, I think that both of them, well, Jakob especially, I think this is just my distance bias being highlighted here, but I reckon there would be more hype if Jakob entered versus if Laos entered, in their respective categories. Am I waffling there? Tell me.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean that's the whole point. This is our thoughts.
Okay. Continue with the waffle. Because from my perspective at least, because I'm counting out the possibility of Jakob being in one of these slams, if he just suddenly announces himself as a challenger, let's say Grant Fisher's won 2 slams in a row, Jakob comes in for the 3rd one, I'm hyped instantly. Go to Grand Slam track, demand an exorbitant appearance fee, take your money and run, quite literally.
Needs more eyes. More eyes equals more money. Yeah, I think the eyes will come. Like, again, this is track isn't a hugely popular sport, if we're being completely honest. Besides,
as of yet.
Yeah, as of yet, and besides the Olympics, but 100K prize monies. There was like a lot of turnout for people watching it. I just don't think like the actual stadiums filled out.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the Peacock numbers were actually on the streams.
Yeah, we'll learn some real numbers as they come in, and I think again, the more this happens, the better it'll get, and the more people that'll start watching, because you don't get matchups like this, like unless you're a championship part of the season. Like, how good was it to see a lot of the championship runners come out and run this early in the year, and then we're going to get to see it four more times a year.
Yeah, and I mean, we definitely did have some slow times. I mean, I think the occasional 14:39 5K is okay, because it's kind of funny to laugh at as well. And it was a good race at the end of the day for the last lap. But we still saw some fast times in the sprints. I mean, Nasser obviously being the highlight there.
Yeah, no, Nasser kicked ass. I mean, yeah. Sydney ran alright. Some of the sprints. If you think about the sprints times too, because there was massive headwinds today. There was a medium headwinds yesterday. The men's 100 meter was actually really quick, because what was the headwind there? Like a 10:07 into a negative 1 point something.
2.4. Oh, yeah. I might even be -2.
It was a negative something. Like, that comes, that'll come down to a sub 10. We could have seen the first sub 10s, this early in the year by pros. You never see the pros run sub 10 this early. Yeah, negative 1.7 yesterday, and they still ran, and Benerick still ran 10:07. So by no means were all the times slow.
Yeah. And as I say, I think Grand Slam track's whole thing is the slow times. As long as the race is good, slow times are secondary, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
and also,
I certainly enjoyed all the distance stuff, even though it was slow. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, let's say it was the World Championship and there was a -2 win. I mean, that doesn't really happen in a huge stadium, but like, you would literally get a time like this. Would you be complaining about the time slow? Like, not really, because the circumstances. And here, the circumstances, like, you couldn't run fast.
Yeah, and you'd be happy that you got to saw, Laos, Tobago, Benerick.
Yeah, and you got
all of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm keen to see it turn up in the next ones. Yeah, and someone said Sydney wouldn't be racing until June usually. Truly, bro, we get to see Sydney run. You know, even when she's not at peak form.
Yeah.
This is also what I
Kyle
wanted
would
to
definitely
see.
not be running as well.
Is this not eye opening? Also to see how all the top athletes open their season. It makes like for a lot of the youth training out there, it makes it a lot more realistic what you can expect from yourself during the season. Because you know, as a teen, you're constantly getting personal best, but like now you can see, oh, it's okay to open my season like slower and then build into it, and you learn a little bit more about the sport. I think it's just good all around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positives to draw from this.
All right. Yeah, have you got lots of positive, like, apart from the crown, is there anything that you didn't like about this slam? Because I want to make sure that we're not looking like yes men here.
I mean,
Suppose
I don't know. I think
obviously.
it was a lot of broadcasting issues. Like they got fine tuning to do with the time.
Janky, I think's the word.
Yeah, janky. There was janky like broadcasting. They need to do something about like the in between times. Like we were talking, and it was fun to chat between the races. But look at any other sport, NBA, NFL, whatever. There's not this much downtime between races. But I don't know how you fix that without squandering like introducing the athletes and being able to talk stats, because that's what the sport is. It's stats.
So, I mean, as I say, I like to use the UFC as an example because I understand it relatively well. It's one of the other sports I keep up with, and there are boxing's notorious for having super long intervals in between. But even the UFC, which is much quicker than boxing, still has like 50 minutes between each fight. And then you've still got the walkouts and the announcements and stuff. I mean, they just do it by, obviously there's advertisements, but they play like trailers and hype and that sort of thing. Like hyping up the athletes, introducing the rivalries and stuff. So that could be something that they invest in. So, they get some good cinematics, some good edits. Maybe the athletes, if you get a shit talker like Josh Kerr, saying stuff like this, you could, I think you could make something to hype up the race in between a little bit.
Yeah, true. He would have ate a lot of his words today. But also in saying that, we don't know what happened on the proper broadcast. This is just the YouTube broadcast. So
true. I know with Peacock, according to the chat members, they were saying that they would, because the reason there was no audio for the Peacock stream is that they were playing adverts apparently on the live broadcast. So they just use it as an ad break, which, isn't ideal.
Oh, okay, just using it for ad break. All right, that's a bit dry, but I mean, that's what other sports do. Just a couple comments I wanted to address. Do you think this meet will make more athletes want to join, like professional athletes? I do think so because of the money. I think a lot of athletes didn't join because they were afraid they weren't, it's like an ego thing. They weren't in shape enough to warrant coming here and running for 100K. But I think a lot of those people later in the season 100% join. And another thing is Demario Sales basically mentioning the timing of everything. Like this is on the same weekend as the Jamaica trials later in the year. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays in terms of like World Championship qualifications and other big meets surrounding it.
Yeah. Because obviously there was a big choice of World Indoor Champs versus Grand Slam track, and I think when it comes to pullouts, at least the fact that they've got their main stars being contractually obliged, that's one of the strengths of GSC. So unless they're injured, pullouts are less likely to happen. Yeah,
that's true. The contracts, that's huge. I think we've been waffling on for a little bit. I reckon we could end it here. We've got a decent amount of thoughts. I don't want you to spew out everything you've got because you want to make a video on this.
I do need to make a video.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Admias 786.
Honestly, there's still like over 500 people sticking around for their end thoughts. You're the real fans. Those other guys were wimps who left earlier. But thank you to everyone who came and watched. They were just left me. Came and watched out this weekend. It was awesome to have the watch along and see it be so successful. I had no idea what was going to happen. Obviously, both me and Adam just make videos never streamed. Couldn't imagine this would have turned out so well. So huge thanks to you guys. I hope you really enjoyed what went on, and you can spread the great word of Grand Slam track and how it was at least okay for its first time.
It was great fun, guys. I really enjoyed it, and I'm surprised that we got so many viewers as well.
Yeah, and just before we head out, I'm going to close the stream in a little bit, but subscribe to Adam. Get him to 2K if he's not already. Maybe get him to 2.1. You know, Adam did fantastic work. He really carried today because, you know, I rolled out of bed for this by 7 a.m. And he knew everything about the distance. You know, I let him really take the reins there.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, honestly.
I think I'm like on last. I've got like 3 or 4 subscribers. Oh, I'm on 2K just now, actually.
Oh, there we go.
Just happened.
All right, we achieved the goal. Stop subscribing.
Appreciate everyone. Unsubscribe.
You know, yeah, we're in the stream here. Thanks everyone for coming out. See you hopefully next time for a stream in 2 months' time or a video in about a week because I'm going to chill out this week. Yeah.
I believe the next slam's in a month, so.
There you go.
Hopefully we get the.
Perhaps see you live in a month. Bye bye.
All right.